a
Oh,
few years
okay.
ago.
All right.
Dan grabbed them as their foursome, and
But
then
you-
left me with politicians. Now I have
what
a picture.
politicians did you
Oh,
play
yeah.
with? What did you
Okay.
play with?
All right.
All right, here we go. I got the mayor of Tinley Park,
Sure.
Yeah.
Jason. Do you know Jason?
yeah.
Yes. Liz Gorman, former Cook
Yeah.
County
Liz Doty
Commissioner.
Gorman, yes.
Yeah,
Jan
she was great.
Schakowsky.
And Rahm Emanuel.
Yeah.
No, and then
Rom, he's the caddy.
loved this guy. I already forgot his name.
Oh, that's nice. You forgot one of your
Hopefully not
partner's
the mayor
names.
of Bolingbrook.
No.
No.
Oh, was it the
Roger.
Bowling-
Roger Clark.
No, it's Roger Clare, Mike Scott.
Was it
Thank you.
Was it the Bolingbrook Golf Course?
Yes, it was at the
Yes,
Bolingbrook.
it was.
Because that
Golf
was like the shrine built to the. Is it the current mayor of Bolingbrook or the
Yes.
former?
Yes.
It is.
He's
It
got
was
an
built,
office
but
there.
with his
Imprimatur.
Yes, it was built because of his vision for the community.
That's what I mean. It's like
There
the
you
guy
go.
who built Aaron Hills. I'm sure Dan talked about.
Oh.
He did.
Yeah.
What's his name?
It doesn't matter right now because he's a nobody and he's bankrupt. But
That's not true. He has the U.S. Open being played.
no, he lost the course.
Yeah, he lost the
He,
course.
he spent his entire fortune on the
Well, Dan
course
didn't
and he
get
lost it.
that side
That's
of
the
the story.
story.
Let's
That's
circle.
the whole
Let's
story.
circle back. So the controversy
Oh, okay.
Was that-
is
Thank you very much. Is that Dan took my foursome and
he
they
stole your foursome.
and they won.
And what,
Guess-
what do you
guess
win
was-
for that?
Well, no, they got spatulas.
Oh, okay.
Andy
Grilling
from Midwest
spatulas.
Performance Cars. This is the Andy Bizzub we're talking about, right?
Yes, and they paid
Ding.
for me to golf with them, and then Dan hijacked my foursome and left me with the politicians who they were great. But there's a guy John who's in our foursome who played music, and I am not.
Play music? You don't play music. That's a
I
lack of
cannot-
etiquette on the course.
Oh, I was out of my mind.
So
I
he
mean,
had a radio like Rodney Dangerfield had in the bag on the
Oh.
course at Bushwood.
no, he had it
Exactly.
out. Oh, it was blaring, and I was
blaring
going
music,
out
not
of,
even quiet,
but
not even with earbuds.
bad blaring music. And everybody, you don't want to be the little priss in the card who's just
No, that's not being a
please.
little priss. That's being somebody who's saying, do you know
but
that
finally-
there's golf etiquette? That
Oh.
you're not supposed
Right.
to play a radio while you're playing golf?
Well, here, let me tell you how this went down. Because I was trying to be polite, and I just went up to him. I said, at the very least, can you please stop playing the music while I'm on the tee box? Because, I
Right.
was in show choir, and I was in different choirs, and I'm always moving to the beat of the music. I can't move to the upbeat. You swing on the downbeat. So I was trying to. I was swinging at the rhythm to the music that was playing.
What kind of music are we talking
it was
about?
garbage. It was crap music. I mean, it was just.
Politician music.
I don't know.
Happy days are here again.
So
Don't
finally,
start thinking about tomorrow.
I made my peace, and I said, "Listen, I live in the city. I've got the CT, I've got the Metro. I hear all the time. I've got planes landing over my head. It's loud. I've got boys. I come to the golf course to hear the birds, to be at one with nature, and to relax. And it was not relaxing. So after about 6 holes, I was this close to leaving. I even texted our Keith Conrad. I said, I am getting out of here. It was annoying.
Why can't you just speak up? Because you're a woman, and women don't speak
But I did
up.
speak up,
Okay.
and guess what happened?
They didn't stop.
Exactly.
They were oblivious. Dude.
And then they were
They're not a
making fun of
constituent.
me. They were making fun of me that I was the priss and who wanted to lower the music.
Well, couldn't you hijack another foursome at that point?
Well, that's when I texted Dan
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Get your butt over here. We're switching foursomes because I was supposed
In
to
the
be with
middle of the round?
yeah, I was supposed to be with Andy Bizup
That
and
doesn't
Midwest
happen.
Performance Cars. Anyway, yeah, he didn't do it because they won 15 under.
Wait. Dan was
Dan's-
oblivious to a text?
Yes.
Oh.
Imagine.
Oh.
No, he told me to suck
I mean,
it
if
up.
it was Governor Rauner on the phone, I think he would have answered. Yes. May I run a little campaign for you in several suburbs?
So then I found the
That's
guy.
funny.
Have
So
you
when
read my newspaper?
newspapers?
Newspapers. We took out Mark Jean Greco. Yes.
Stop it. So then when John, who I ended
you
up
did.
being, listen, the music, then I dubbed him the music man.
Yeah.
Well, it was a blessing from God because guess what happened? His battery died on his phone.
And the golf scores shot up exponentially because of that.
Well, then they got, because I cannot play golf and blare music.
Can you
and-
really play golf anyway, Amy?
Yes, I can.
I've
Bruce.
seen you
Have you
pantomime
seen
your
my
swing.
shoes?
Yes,
I'm still wearing my golf outfit from yesterday.
I noticed.
the event
and
ended-
it's a
we
little
didn't-
salty.
I haven't even brushed my teeth yet, but I have a toothbrush here and some toothpaste, and I'm going to get on that. But the event, the shotgun started 2:30 in the afternoon, and then we had an event after
That's
the round.
late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's late.
that's
How
why
did
I'm
Joe do in
wearing
the
mine.
morning?
Joe Walsh,
Mhm.
he allegedly said he went golfing. I don't know if he golfs. He looked like he went golfing.
He looked
But
like
it's,
he walked the course.
Bolingbrook, it's a challenging course, and it's great to be out there.
I played there years ago. Very nice.
Once the phone died down,
Oh, that was
that
great.
was great. But also, too, I learned how to lower the volume on his phone. So when he went up to the tee box, the Music Man,
Mm-hmm.
I snuck into his cart and took his phone. Thank God he didn't have a code on his phone, and I lowered down the music.
You did. And did
Oh,
you look
yeah.
at his emails and all the bribes that he's been taking lately? Or?
But John's
Okay.
girlfriend, Paige, loves our station. So she listens every morning. He said sometimes she sits in the car and won't get out of her car until,
Really?
yeah, she's one of those. And then I met another gentleman who listens to us every morning while he's in his bathtub.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You can tell us that story off the air.
And Dan said, call us while you're in the bathtub. But yeah, so Dan and his foursome won, score of 15 under par. Our group, an honest 3 under. So we had 3 birdies, and we parred every hole.
That's great. And this is our U.S. Open recap. 7 hours more of coverage today.
No.
Did the blimp
Oh,
overhead
yeah, I was gonna
explode?
say,
Did the
did we
blimp
have a-
explode?
did we have a
Did you
blimp
hear about
crash?
that? The blimp
Oh, yeah.
exploded
Yeah.
for the U.S. Open.
yeah.
Oh, the humanity.
We're going to get to that right after this.
What do you do to relax?
Well, play golf.
Ah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
How often do you get out?
Well, let's see. Never. Yeah, never.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, what is the weather going to be like for this Father's Day weekend?
Well, today it's going to be clouds and sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Warm, high of 88. Tonight, rather cloudy, warm and humid with a shower or thunderstorm around. Low of 69 tomorrow. Partly sunny with a thunderstorm. Storms can bring hail and damaging winds. High of 86. Low tomorrow night, 67. Looking ahead to Sunday, Father's Day, breezy with sunny intervals, a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. I wonder how it's going to be in Erin Hills, just northwest of Milwaukee. They have the same weather that we do.
Yeah.
That's the final round of the U.S. Open. Low Sunday night of 60. Now for a look at the traffic, here's, I'm going to guess it's Jim Telemonte.
You're right. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. Good morning, Amy. Right now on Chicago's west side, we got a multi-alarm fire, 311 alarm at Grand and Holman. So things are blocked off in that area, and the fire crews are staging at Grand and Kedzie. So it's pretty busy in that area. On the expressways, traffic is getting heavy early here on northbound I-55. A little slow around County Line after some earlier construction. A little heavy around Cicero and slow from State to Lakeshore Drive with the ongoing work there. Just a total of 2 or 3 minutes worth of delays. Inbound Ryan, a little heavy from Roosevelt into the Burns Circle. 16 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes. I-80 to the Murray, Bishop Ford, 16. Tollways are looking good right now. We've no delays to report at the moment in northwest Indiana. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17% may not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees. Learn what they are in my free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds. What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
If you haven't bought a MyPillow yet, why not? Maybe you've seen them in a store with a radio deal using the name Amy. As the promo code is a much better deal, it's the best deal available. In June, you'll receive the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for 50% off. You can move the fill to give you the exact support you need regardless of sleep position. You'll sleep deep and won't wake up to a stiff neck or headache. Our friend Mike Lindell manufactures them in America using American labor. You can wash and dry them. They're hypoallergenic. And you'll get the 10-year warranty and 60-day money-back guarantee. In June, get the 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201 and use the promo code AMY or visit mypillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code AMY. Just do it.
Message and data rates may apply.
Would you rather get your degree from one of the most innovative online universities in the country or one of the nation's most affordable? How about both? Now you can at Southern New Hampshire University. Get degree information and see how to apply online by texting the word FRESH to 554433. College tuition is skyrocketing, making getting a degree almost impossible for too many, but it doesn't have to be that way. Founded in 1932, Southern New Hampshire University has the credibility of a New England campus, but by offering programs online, we've made education incredibly accessible and affordable. You'll discover knowledge and skills from instructors who are leaders in their field. Plus, you get all the flexibility, support, and encouragement needed to prepare you for the career you've always wanted. Southern New Hampshire University. See yourself succeed. Grab your smartphone and do the smart thing. Get degree information and see how to apply online by texting FRESH to 554433. That's FRESH to 554433.
If you're a sleep apnea sufferer who's on the go, go to your phone. Because if you give us a call right now, you'll be able to try the world's first portable mini CPAP device absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP, an engineering marvel that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. Its unique design is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. No more dragging around a big, bulky CPAP. Even better, now you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights by calling minicpap.com, 1-800-300-9209. Transcend is FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. You can also add a battery pack that's as tiny as a deck of cards. So now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't wait. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-300-9209. That's 1-800-300-9209.
AM 560, The Answer. Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity. Right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back, AM 560, The Answer. Amy Jacobson here, Bruce Wolf, and for Dan Proft. And we were trying to plan the show yesterday while we were playing golf. And my foursome, who, by the way, I love, they told me to tell you that you should do chit-chat for 3.5 hours.
That would be funny.
Yeah. And then get to the news for a half hour. Talk about President Trump's tweet. Talk about the breaking news this morning that al-Baghdadi has been allegedly killed in an airstrike in Russia, along with 330 other ISIS members. That's from Sputnik News, which is a Russian English news agency.
Would one of those ISIS members be Governor Rauner, according to Karen Lewis? And I forgot who the congressman or the state rep is.
No,
I believe.
This is an airstrike that happened May 28th
but they called,
in Raqqa.
They called Rauner an ISIS.
An ISIS member.
Elite warrior.
He is the state. If they did indeed kill him in that airstrike, that's big news. So later on in the show, we'll talk to Lieutenant Colonel Paul Latino about that. And also, too, yesterday we did raise, guess how much money for the 100 Club of
The actual
Chicago?
retail price, $79,000.
Wow, are you aiming high?
Oh,
no.
okay.
We raised close to $20,000 for the 100 Club of Chicago. And what they do is they help family members of first responders who've been killed in the line of duty. And not only do they present a check to them right away for a certain amount, about $10,000, just to help them get them through, but they send their kids to college. And right now they have 22 children that they are putting through college, and there's 63 other kids, from the state of Illinois who need help going to college.
That's very nice.
Yeah, so Joe Ahern was out there. He said to say hello.
Are you He did not.
Yeah, he did.
Joe Ahern said to say hello to me?
Joe Ahern. I told him
I'm in. Isn't he like the... Oh, he's nothing now.
Oh, don't say
I'm
that.
Kidding.
He's president of the
headline,
100 Club.
The 100 Club. That's
yes,
what he's the
and
president.
the firefighter who died in Dalton, he has a funeral this Saturday, and they're going to be there and present a check.
Joe
to his
Ahern
wife.
almost once hired me at Channel 2.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
This is the other half hour that my foursome planned. They said, ask Bruce about his time in TV and let it go.
Why? You
All
have
right,
the
so
more,
how did-
notorious
honey.
television career than I do.
I haven't had a scandal in 10 years, so pipe
Neither
it
have
down.
I. I've had one in 12 years.
So how did Joe Ahern almost hire you? Which
No,
station was he at?
He was at Channel 2. You know, that's when he spent $10 million on Diane Burns. It was a total bust. And but I had breakfast with him at the Four Seasons with Carol Fowler, who's been the news director of every station in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great breakfast and everything, and then it never went anywhere. I think Dennis Swanson put the kibosh on the whole thing. He didn't like Jewish sportscasters. I don't know that for sure.
Interject religion into this. Keep trying, though.
I don't know. But, yeah, I almost got the chance to be at the failure that Channel 2 became.
Oh.
So, but I never got that opportunity.
Well, coming up on the program, a moment of unity between congressional members at their annual baseball game is played, and then Trump tweets all over it.
Yes.
Like that. And then also, Powerball and Mega Millions may be leaving the state of Illinois at the end of this month. We'll tell you why. But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good Friday morning to the one and only Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 71 degrees, winds west at 12 in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. President Trump expected to announce a new Cuba policy during a speech in Miami today. Will tighten rules on Americans traveling to and from Cuba and significantly restrict U.S. companies from doing business with Cuban enterprises controlled by their military. Vice President Mike Pence now has a lawyer over the Russian probe. Pence's spokesman says he's hired outside counsel to help him deal with inquiries. A facility where House GOP whip Steve Scalise is recovering from major gunshot wounds say he will be in the hospital for some time. His House colleagues paid tribute to him last night at their annual charity baseball game, while law enforcement tracked the path of the shooter, traveled to the ball field carnage.
We're all a family here, and there are liberal Democrats, conservative Republicans, and many people in between, but we care about each other, we talk to each other, we know about each other's families, and we know each other's passions on the issues.
Republican Congressman Lee Zeldin of New York. One leader of ISIS may be dead. Russia's Ministry of Defense says it's looking into reports that an airstrike it carried out last month in Syria may have killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. The airstrike in question hit the terrorist command post where members of the terror group were meeting on the outskirts of Raqqa. The jury in the Bill Cosby sexual assault trial will reach a decision later today. The jury had reported they were deadlocked and could not reach a verdict, but the judge then had them continue deliberating and refused a defense request for a mistrial. 2 escaped inmates accused of killing prison guards in Georgia are back in custody. Donnie Russell Rowe and Ricky Dubose were captured following a car and foot chase in Tennessee. Firefighters battling a 3-alarm blaze on Chicago's west side near Grand and Homan this morning. No one in custody following an elderly man being shot and killed on Chicago's south side. Investigators believe a gunman was aiming at another man sitting on a nearby curb. The Rauner administration is threatening to bring roadwork projects to a halt if lawmakers don't approve a budget by the end of the month. IDOT says it's notifying contractors that construction work across the state will be shut down June 30th if there's no budget deal. The same scenario happened last year before a stopgap spending bill locked in money for the road projects. Melky Cabrera's go-ahead 2-run single ignites a 4-run 6th inning. White Sox drop the Orioles 5-2. Cubs open up a 3-game set with the Pirates tomorrow. Ricky Fowler on top of your U.S. Open leaderboard. The news, a service of Cece's, now at Cece's. Party on with a new stuffed crust trio, bacon stuffed crust, and new grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza. Join the original, too, with pepperoni. Stuffed crust party is on for unlimited buffets for just $5 and change. Cece's, prices may vary for a limited time only. 5:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is fed up with the Trump bashers.
When I listen to people, colleagues of mine, oh, he shouldn't tweet. You don't think he knows what he's doing? Well, but that's not protocol. Wait, he's not protocol. He's the proverbial bull in a china closet. It's who he is. My gosh, I'm so fed up with these haters. And the haters come in all political stripes.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Give Dad the perfect Father's Day gift and earn $25 in Cabela's Bucks when you spend $150 or more in-store. Shop in-store and online. When a local manufacturer suffered an employee accident at their factory, McPherson Public Affairs Group was called in to handle crisis communications with the media, the general public, and the manufacturer's employees. When a local unit of government needed assistance in pushing a significant regional highway issue forward, McPherson Public Affairs Group was called in to manage the public, media, and legislative outreach campaign. When national trade associations and corporations need public outreach and communications campaigns in Illinois and throughout the Midwest, they count on McPherson Public Affairs Group to get the job done. McPherson Public Affairs Group is a full-service public affairs and public relations firm based in LaGrange, Illinois. They'll work with you to create a strategy and see it through. Contact them for a free consultation when you face public relations challenges or need media and spokesperson training for your executive team. 312-882-2473 or on the web at mcphersonpublicaffairs.com.
5:35. Let's get an update on the roads and into the alarm detection systems traffic center we go. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Michael. You mentioned fire crews are very busy at Grand and Holman with that multi-alarm fire there, and the fire staging is at Grand and Kedzie. So avoid that area if possible. The Edens and the Kennedy are fine. Eisenhower inbound, just a little congestion past 25th Avenue. Inbound Stevenson, we see delays mainly from State to Lakeshore Drive. 43 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound fine at 34. Inbound Orion, it's about 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound fine at 15. I-57, 20 minutes. I-80 to the merge, Bishop 421. Tollways are looking good. No delays to report in Northwest Indiana. Traffic is a service of Cece's. Now at Cece's, party with the new stuffed crust trio. Bacon stuffed crust, a new grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza. Join the original with pepperoni. The stuffed crust parties on the unlimited buffet for just $5 and change. Cece's, prices may vary for a limited time only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Clouds and sunshine with a couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm. Warm this afternoon, high 88. Cloudy, warm, and humid with a shower or storm around overnight, lows 69. Currently 71 at O'Hare, 75 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
A new day, a new controversy surrounding the New York Times editorial board. I'm sure you heard Bruce Wolf of what they did yesterday. They wrote an editorial, after that ambush-style attack on congressional baseball players, a few days ago. And they brought back the last attack, the prior attack on Gabby Giffords back in 2011. Are you there, Bruce? Hello?
Yes, I'm
okay,
here.
I thought you were sleeping.
Well, I'm doing both. I can multitask. Yeah.
Okay. And they talked about Jared Lee Loughner opening fire in a supermarket parking lot, grievously wounding Representative Gabby Giffords and killing 6 people, including a 9-year-old girl. That 9-year-old girl has a name. Her name is Christina Taylor Greene.
Wow,
and
that's a trivia question.
Well, her grandfather was the general manager for the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, Dallas Green.
And her mother wrote a
that.
beautiful book, and we had her mother on this program twice, and became, pretty friendly with her and just felt her pain and just her telling her story of why her daughter wanted to go see Gabby Giffords that day and how she went and she never came back. So the article went on to, talk about the link because there were some certain crosshairs on Sarah Palin's website, which wasn't even her website. It was a super PAC for Sarah Palin, showing Democratic congressional seats that the Republicans wanted to take over. So Sarah Palin's Political Action Committee circulated a map of targeted electoral districts that put Miss Gifford and 19 other Democrats under stylized crosshairs. Conservatives and right-wing media were quick on Wednesday to demand forceful condemnation of hate speech and crime by anti-Trump liberals. They're right, though there's no sign of incident as direct as in the Giffords attack.
Okay.
Liberals should, of course, hold themselves to the same standards of decency that they ask of the right.
Well, here's the problem. I mean, the guy who shot Gabby Giffords was a paranoid schizophrenic who thought that Grammar was out to get him. Grammar. It had there was no causal nexus between the crosshairs that Sarah Palin super PAC had and the shooting, whereas there is a relationship between the rhetoric of the left and the violence that's condoned by the left, to wit, Middlebury with Charles Murray and Berkeley, and what this Hodgkinson did, because he was a Bernie Sanders supporter. No, I'm not blaming Bernie Sanders, but there is a connection there. There's a false equivalence to compare that, to go, oh, no, Sarah Palin did this. As a matter of fact, the New York Times reported a couple of days after the shooting of Gabby Giffords that there was no connection, but the New York Times editorial board apparently doesn't read the New York Times.
Exactly.
Why are we talking about the New York Times anymore anyway? They're irrelevant fake news.
Well, because a lot of people think Sarah Palin should sue the New York Times for libel, for defamation of character, and I think she has a case here.
Are you an attorney?
Well, here's the thing. So she responded yesterday, Sarah Palin. You're the attorney.
Yeah.
I'm going to run this by you, and you
Yes,
can decide.
you may.
And phone lines are always open. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA. Then a quick comment. If you think Sarah Palin should pursue litigation against the New York Times for this outrageous story, more fake news, it's just feeding their liberal agenda, really. How convenient for them. Because let's bash Sarah Palin. Let's get Sarah Palin involved. All right, so she took to Facebook and Twitter yesterday. With this sickening New York Times editorial, the media is doing exactly what I said yesterday should not be done. Despite commenting as graciously as I could on media coverage of yesterday's shooting, alas, today a perversely biased media knee-jerk blame game is attempting to destroy innocent people with lies and more fake news. As I said yesterday, I'd hoped the media had collectively matured since the last attack on a representative, when media coverage spewed blatant lies about who was to blame. There's been no improvement. The New York Times has gotten worse.
Well,
Sincerely, Sarah Palin.
She sure put the New York Times in her crosshairs. Now, here's the legal case. Of
Yes.
course, you have Sarah Palin as a public figure, so the standard is what we call actual malice, knowing falsity or reckless disregard of the truth. And there is no question that the New York Times either knew what it was writing was false or had a reckless disregard of the truth. However, of course, there's
I
not
like
going to
this
be.
reckless disregard of the truth.
Of course, there is not going to be any case because she's not going to sue the New York Times.
Why
Plus,
not?
they issued the correction yesterday, so that's a mitigation of the damages.
All right.
She's not going to sue him.
Correction
But there is
yesterday.
actually a case. I mean,
There
it's
is.
very rare that a public figure can win a libel case because the standard is so difficult to meet. The reason public figures can't win libel cases or have a hard time is because they have access to the media, to the public, and they can quickly defend themselves. So the whole idea is that the truth will come out, and it has come out. So there's no case here. But actually, theoretically, there is a case.
Well, the New York Times, you mentioned, came out with a correction yesterday afternoon. I love corrections. I mean, really, because it's at the end of the article. So
And
you
no
have to
apology.
You have to keep reading. No apology. Just this. So is this a non-apology? Apology? An editorial on Thursday about the shooting of Representative Steve Scalise incorrectly stated that a link existed between political rhetoric and the 2011 shooting of Representative Gabby Giffords. In fact, no such link was established. The editorial also incorrectly described a map distributed by a political action committee before that shooting. It depicted electoral districts, not individual Democratic lawmakers, beneath stylized crosshairs.
Yeah. So
where's the?
They don't. They didn't even say they regret the error. They will say, when they make a spelling error, oh my God, that's the worst thing we ever did. But this when they libel a public figure. That's pretty difficult. It reminds me of when Walter Jacobson libeled a cigarette company. And, of course, he even read his own libel verdict on the air because they had no one else to anchor. It was the funniest moment in television I've ever seen. Today, I got convicted of libel. Well, not convicted, but I was found, libel against the cigarette company. And then he interviewed himself. It was the most masturbatory thing I've ever seen on television.
That's great.
Excuse me.
Well, still, and this morning, there's still no motive behind why he did it. But his wife, Susan, who still lives in their home in Belleville, Illinois.
Estranged wife.
Estranged wife.
Well, because she didn't know what was going on. He was out of town for a few months.
Well, she said
just
that he
going
was
to Virginia.
working for a tax corporation.
Right.
No, that's what he told her.
Sure.
Well,
I thought he was going around.
He lived in a van. Did you see them pull
down
his mattress
by the river?
Did you see them pull his mattress out of his van?
I didn't see them pull the
At
mattress
least get
out.
some sheets.
I thought the guy, everybody's noted this, that he looks like Ditka with the glasses.
Too soon. Here's Susan, who had no idea. Oh, I just have no idea. He's supposed to be coming back soon.
Well, they're estranged.
I had no idea this was going to happen, and I don't know what to say about it. I can't wrap my head around it.
There's probably a lot of things she can't wrap her head around.
Well, here's one of Hodgkin's
like the
friends.
SAT.
Well, Hodgkin's friends who agrees. He doesn't like that he did it, but he understands where the anger came from.
I don't know his politics, but I can see how he's pretty well fed up with some of this stuff. I'm fed up with what's going on in this state.
And if you look, in 2006, he was arrested for domestic battery, but the case was dropped. They went to his house a few times because he was just shooting 50, 60 rounds off on his property.
But
near children.
He had guns.
but
they
were legal. Right.
So the argument, of course, is that we should confiscate all guns.
No, that's not going to happen.
Well, I know
when
it's
people,
not gonna
especially by
happen.
church, say that we need to take all the guns off the street. Good
Well,
luck. Isn't that what
isn't
Hitler
that part
did
of-
before to the Jews before
Isn't
they
that
took
part
over
of the,
Germany?
That's part of the Episcopalian creed, right?
Can you stop?
That we must only gay marriage. No,
No, they don't. No, they believe in
no hetero marriage is allowed in
but
the Episcopal Church.
That's
Am I
not
right about
true. That's not
that? And
true.
then the other thing in the Episcopal Church is that we should confiscate all your guns.
Well, they do. They think
And get rid of the First Amendment. The left wants to get rid of the Second Amendment and the First Amendment and probably the Fourth Amendment, witness the Obama administration's handling of the NSA. So, just get rid of all the amendments. The only amendment that works is the 13th, and that's against slavery, and that's because PETA wants to make sure that whales are protected and,
right.
and that they aren't enslaved.
But I'm surprised that nobody's seen the correlation between the fact, because I think the timing's everything, that Hodgkins did this on President Trump's birthday. And I think, if you read all of his Facebook postings and,
he knew that it was Trump's birthday?
It was Trump's birthday when he committed this heinous act, when he ambushed our congressional members and Republican senators on that baseball diamond.
I did not realize.
And we were talking yesterday during the golf tournament, conjecture on my part, but I think that his number one target was President Trump. And when he realized he's not going to get to him, that's when he went off.
You know what really bothered me about
rank and
this?
file.
I'm sorry. As they were describing what was happening, they kept talking about, well, the gunman was on the third base side. And, that's baseball. Baseball is this wonderful, beautiful sport. We just had the Cubs win the World Series last year.
America's
It's,
pastime.
Field of Dreams and all that. And you're talking about a gunman on the third base side. That should never be in the same sentence.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Let's go to Randy, who joins us from Crown Point. Good morning, Randy. How are you?
Morning. I'm doing well. Hey, there is a hypocrisy here with this idiot and the gun. And the thing that really blows me away, if this had been somebody from the right that had pulled a gun, especially an AR, and started firing upon people, there would have been gun control idiots all over the place. But so far, it's been very, very tight-lipped to a degree. McAuliffe came out. A couple other people have come out. But it is not the gun control rhetoric because they can't link guns now to just right-wing lunatics like myself. And that's just killing me.
Hey, go out and, fire a few rounds in your backyard right now.
I do every week.
You do. And, we should do that because I want to, we could play name that weapon. Is it an AR-15 or is it a Colt 45? Something like that. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy. But did you hear the governor of Virginia yesterday? I mean, it really, you can't hear this enough.
I saw him do it live. McAuliffe.
Did you fall off your chair?
Well,
or were you,
go ahead and play it, but I actually hate to be in the position of defending the governor of Virginia, but let's hear it.
Governor, in general, do you think anything more needs to do to protect politicians?
Well, let me say this. I think we need to do more to protect all of our citizens. I have long advocated, this is not what today is about, but there are too many guns on the street. We lose 93 million Americans a day to gun violence. I mean, I've long talked about this.
And he said it a few times, 93 million. And then, but here's the thing.
What did he mean?
He meant 93, not 93 million.
Right.
Now, here's
but
the
we
problem.
lose 93 people every day in America due to gun violence?
Probably. That sounds right. Not 93 million, though. He kept saying 93 million. And the
doesn't
thing,
even sound right to me.
The thing is that, like, a lot of people of our ilk, like Tucker Carlson, whom I, love his sweet smarminess.
You're wearing his bow tie today.
He comes on
very nice
that night, and he says that Governor McAuliffe said 93 million. He kept repeating it, which just shows how captivated the left is about this. So the problem is that it was just a mental cramp. I can't say the word that I wanted to use on radio. I don't. It starts with an F.
Oh,
but anyway, so he and then he was corrected. Somebody said you meant 93. He said, oh yeah, right. But everybody's making a big polenta over this whole thing. Yeah, he made a mistake. That's all. I mean, there's plenty to get Terry McAuliffe on.
Right.
But
he'll be out of office soon.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Need a new CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we recently overstocked the world's best CPAP machines. Top-of-the-line devices from brands like ResMed and Philips Respironics. Call now and get one of these overstocked CPAPs for a fraction of the price. We'll even give you free next-day air shipping. Call 1-800-600-5909. The best part? No insurance needed. We're giving out these CPAPs at prices so low, they'll cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and has the world's largest selection of CPAPs and accessories. With no retail overhead or costly middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com has overstocked premium CPAPs. Call now to get a ResMed or Philips Respironics machine for a fraction of the price with free next-day air shipping. Call 1-800-600-5909. Hurry. When these overstocked CPAPs are gone, they're really gone. That's 1-800-600-5909.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free, and we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Continental Audi of Naperville is out to sell 100 new Audis in June. So now is the time for you to take advantage of some great deals. Continental Audi of Naperville has incredible offers on new Audis. And Continental Audi delivers a different kind of buying experience. Straight talk and no hassle. And a huge selection of Audis to choose. You must visit ContinentalAudi.com or go to Continental Audi in Naperville now to check out these deals on an A3, A4, Q3, Q5, and even the all-new Q7. If you thought of driving an Audi, now is the time to take a test drive. Feel the difference in an Audi performance and experience the difference in an exceptional dealer. Don't miss this. Now is the time for you to buy or lease your new Audi from Continental Audi of Naperville. We're out to sell 100 new Audis in June, so hurry. ContinentalAudi.com or Continental Audi in Naperville on Aurora Avenue at Ogden Avenue. and experience the Continental Audi difference, where smiles are standard equipment. ContinentalAudi.com.
If your roof is needy, if your roof is leaky,
Call Grumweedy.
if your roof isn't right after it's storming and shingles are curly,
Call Grumweedy.
If your roof is looking needy, call Crumweedy. This is Mark Olson of Crumweedy.
And I'm Greg Olson from Crumweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business. We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You really can't do that unless you do really amazing roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we really want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is really the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. You know, a lot of companies don't do that, and that could really void your warranty.
No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
Call Grumweedy.
for your needy roof, go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com. If you only get to one festival this summer, this is the one your family can't miss. Make plans to be at one of Chicagoland's favorite festivals, Eyes to the Skies, June 30th through July 2nd. The Lyle Eyes to the Skies Festival has been entertaining folks for over 30 years with morning and evening balloon launches, balloon glows, nightly fireworks, and live music on 2 stages. Plus, a new addition to this year's festival, Team Fast Tracks, America's skydiving team performing daily skydiving shows. And there's a carnival with rides, craft fair, a huge kids area, and over 50 unique food vendors. Ever wonder what riding in a hot air balloon feels like, but are a bit nervous? Try a tethered balloon ride. Take some amazing pictures from this incredible view. Make plans now for the Lyle Eyes to the Skies Festival, June 30th through July 2nd. Admission is just $8 each day with kids under 6 free. See eyes-to-the-skies.org for locations of free parking and shuttle service, complete balloon launch schedule, and all the info you'll need for an awesome weekend. Don't miss the Lyle Eyes to the Skies Festival, June 30th through July 2nd.
Hey, protect your firearms and valuables in the best. A Liberty Safe from Maxson Shooters Supply. Maxson is Illinois' largest Liberty Safe dealer and stocks the complete line of Liberty Safes, the best money can buy. Not in stock? Maxson will order it. You can pick it up at Maxson or have it delivered and installed almost anywhere in your home. And for a limited time, Liberty is offering interest-free financing for qualified customers. Owning a Liberty Safe has never been so easy. No money down and 0% financing for year one. Hey, visit libertysafe.com for details. For over 25 years, millions of American homes have trusted Liberty Safes to protect their guns, keep them out of reach of children, and protect their valuables from theft and fire. Liberty stands behind every safe with a lifetime warranty. If anyone tries to break into your Liberty Safe, they'll repair or replace it for free. Hey, choose the best. Trust a Liberty Safe from Maxson Shooter Supply in Des Plaines. Visit MAXON shooters.com or shop online at libertysafe.com.
You're the one that gets it done. The person your friends call to see if you can fix it. Brakes? No biggie. Shocks and struts? Simple and straightforward. The catalytic converter heat shield? Come on. If it has wheels, you can make it go. But not having the right part can bring your project to a screeching halt. Problem solved with MyPartsGarage.com. My Parts Garage is not a big box store that needs to wait to get a part in. MyPartsGarage.com is the warehouse that sells wholesale to you. They own the inventory. Your part is always in stock. But wait, there's more. Like free shipping within 24 hours, in-state, next-day delivery, or pick it up today at the warehouse. Right now, MyPartsGarage.com will price match your order, and yes, the shipping is still free. The last thing you need to do is drive fast and furiously to find parts. The average driver in Chicago commutes at least 24 miles per day. People are spending more hours in their car than they do at home. Drivers need you. You need MyPartsGarage.com. Lowest prices guaranteed and free shipping.
5:57. Let's get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. A 3-alarm fire on Chicago's west side has Grand Avenue closed from Holman to Kedzie. And both Augusta is closed as well between Holman and Kedzie, and Lake Street is closed between Ogden and Ashland due to a different fire. This is in a vacant auto repair shop on Laughlin. Kennedy, 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 20. Edens is clear. The Eisenhower, 34 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 29. Stevenson, 43 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Rhine is 22 minutes, 95 to downtown. Traffic at the service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto stores, The easy-to-use AC Pro refrigerant with pressure gauge and quick connect hose is just $33.99. So keep your ride running longer, stronger, and cooler all summer long with AC Pro refrigerant. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, clouds and sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 88. A shower or a thunderstorm around tonight, low 69. Some sun tomorrow with a shower or a thunderstorm around, warm and humid with a high of 86. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
71 at O'Hare. The news, a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. At 5:59, it's time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. And in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom, time to check the stories we're following at this hour. Firefighters battling a 3-alarm blaze on Chicago's west side. Fire began early this morning inside a vacant building near Grand and Homan. No one in custody after an elderly man was shot and killed on Chicago's south side. The 77-year-old was gunned down yesterday in a drive-by shooting near 68th and Hermitage. The FBI joining the search now for a missing University of Illinois scholar. Investigators yesterday saying the FBI has put up billboards across the state searching for Yingying Zhang, the FBI labeling the case now a kidnapping. White Sox beat the Orioles 5-2. Matt Davidson homered and scored twice. Cubs open up a 3-game series with the Pirates tomorrow in Pittsburgh, and Ricky Fowler sits this morning on top of the leaderboard at Erin Hills in the U.S. Open. Currently 71 degrees, WIND, Chicago News Time, 6.
They prayed for Steve Scalise at second base. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's play ball.
President Trump was on the Jumbotron at Nationals Park saying he's still playing the charity congressional baseball game, shows we will not be intimidated.
I wish we had won. I tipped my hat to the to the Democrats. They played a good game, but America won last night.
Republican Congressman Chuck Fleischman on Fox a short time ago, a Capitol Police officer returned fire at Wednesday's shooter. David Bailey threw out the first pitch, propped up by a crutch, while doctors say Congressman Scalise has improved but remains in critical condition. The dead shooter's wife, Sue Hodgkinson, says she and James separated back in March.
I just don't know what to tell you people. I had no idea this was going to happen, and I don't know what to say about it.
She says he told her he was going to Washington to lobby to change tax laws. Hours after President Trump again lashed out on Twitter about a report he's under investigation for obstruction of justice. A new leak about the special counsel probe. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, special counsel Robert Mueller is investigating Jared Kushner's business dealings and finances, according to the Washington Post, which cites officials familiar with the matter. A lawyer for Kushner, who is the president's son-in-law, says it's standard practice for financial records to be examined, and repeated Kushner's intention to share anything he knows about Russia-related matters. At the same time, Vice President Mike Pence has retained a private attorney to help deal with any fallout from the Russia probe. Dave.
Rachel, the president will go to Miami today. Cuba on his mind.
More and more Americans have been traveling to Cuba in the past couple of years, ever since the Obama administration allowed more travel, along with reopening an embassy and allowing financial transactions with the island. President Trump flies to Miami's Little Havana today to announce new policies, some which may re-restrict American and Cuban interaction.
Fox's Evan Brown. Russia is making a claim the U.S.-led coalition in Syria cannot confirm that an airstrike killed the leader of ISIS. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Not even halfway through this first year in office, the political left and dinosaur media actually think they're going to impeach President Trump. Fake scandal after fake scandal dominate the headlines in the cable newsrooms, and not surprisingly, it's even causing establishment Republicans to get wobbly. Yeah, guess it didn't occur to them that making America great again was going to take some work. Sometimes work is hard. You know it, though, and so does the president. That's also why we're here. We never get wobbly. AM 560, The Answer.
Kyle is a dog trainer.
Okay, sit. Good boy.
In his personal time, Kyle's a personal trainer.
1, 2, good.
Kyle knows how to get results, but when it comes to mortgages, he's less confident.
Guilty as charged.
Fortunately, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so he can understand the details and know he's getting the right mortgage. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Go to rocketmortgage.com today.
Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Looking for a fun summer vacation idea? Charlottesville in Albemarle County, Virginia is a short and easy trip with daily nonstop flights on 2 airlines from O'Hare. Tour the homes of former presidents Jefferson, Monroe, and Madison. Sip wine at one of the area's 30-plus wineries. Take a hike in Shenandoah National Park. Dine al fresco at one of the many farm-to-table restaurants. Or stroll down one of the longest pedestrian malls in the country. Plan your trip today at visitcharlottesville.org.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Friday morning. Welcome. Thanks for making us part of your morning. Amy Jacobson here. Dan Proft taking the day off. You know, he's doing the winter chicken dinner circle of victory today after his foursome, Andy Bishop from Midwest Performance Cars. They won the scramble yesterday at the Bolingbrook Golf Club for our annual AM 560 The Answer golf outing.
Well, Cujo's, as Michael Jordan would say to him.
Yes, 15 under. Yes, very impressive, very honest score because he played with some big dogs. So congratulations. But the main thing is that we raised close to $20,000 for our charity yesterday.
That's fantastic. Would
Yes.
you like to introduce me? A lot of people don't know me, even though I'm
sorry.
a radio and TV legend in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Why don't you just introduce yourself then?
My name is Bruce Wolf. I was originally going to be named Beth Wolf if I were a girl, and try to pronounce that. Beth Wolf.
A lot
Good
of news.
morning, Amy.
Yes, good morning. Thanks so much for coming in. And I got no sleep, but at least I just brushed my teeth for you.
I got no sleep either because you can't go to sleep. I've tried to do this before. Oh, I got to go to bed early. You can't. I mean, if you do it 2 days or 3 days in a row, then you get into a habit. But I was watching video of the U.S. Open yesterday till about 11 o'clock last night. Yeah.
Oh, so who's ahead? Because this is
Ricky
the first.
Fowler.
Ricky Fowler. How many shots?
7
ahead?
under. But the reason is because the course was tame. There was no wind yesterday. These link-style courses depend on wind to up the scores. There was no wind. The greens were soft because of rain that had happened a few days earlier. So Ricky was able to take advantage of that.
Are we going to talk like this the whole morning?
Talk like this because it's golf.
Yeah. Have you ever been into a production golf trailer?
No.
Because you walk in there, on TV it's like this. And then they just, take camera one, take a, I told you,
I want to take a moment to send our thoughts, love, and prayer.
Excuse me.
I
hit the button. I was so excited about
You
that.
actually interrupted yourself with Donald Trump. I've never, that would be interesting. So
Yeah.
they're screaming and yelling. Were you in the CBS, which golf
It's
truck?
insane.
What that
It was a CBS golf truck. It was U.S. Open.
Frank Chirkanian?
It was no. It was,
Oh my God!
Phil Mickelson was his first championship win. It was in Tucson, Arizona, at Tucson National.
When he was
Yep, and his coach was
he was
the
an
Arizona
amateur.
State, his ASU golf coach.
You couldn't have been more than like 12 or 13 years old.
I was
then. Okay.
21. Yeah, 21,
Yeah, it was like
22.
91.
Yeah, but the big news coming out of there yesterday, Erin Hills, of course, the gorgeous course,
Yes.
35 miles outside of Milwaukee, was that the blimp went down.
Yes.
So people were watching, and you could see it. I mean, it just looks like the
Should we go to Herb
Hindenburgs.
Morrison now? He was watching it for us. WIND correspondent Herb Morrison.
I love Herb.
Was watching.
Just enough to keep it. It bursts into flames. Wait. Get it started. It's bright and it's brightly terrible. Oh my, get out of the way, please. It's bursting into flames and it's falling on the morning fast and all the folks would see that this is terrible.
We really shouldn't make fun of this. The pilot was burned.
Well,
the pilot was burned.
Well, the company that owns the blimp first said, "Oh, he's fine. He's going to be just fine." Well, no, he has burns on his back, 40% burns.
Yeah, no, so it's pretty
over
bad.
his body.
This was not an official blimp of the. Because last night my wife and I were watching the. You don't call it tape anymore. We were watching a DVR of the golf tournament, and we saw a blimp in the background. And my wife just kept looking up from what she was doing. She wasn't actually watching the golf, and she said, "Oh, is that the blimp that's going to go down?" Because we knew that a blimp was going to go down.
Well, the sheriff's office said the blimp had been flying for several hours. It was heading back to the airport. One passenger on the plane, or one person on the plane, and that was the pilot. And that the sheriff said, "Our thoughts and prayers are with those who were injured, and they're just glad that no one on the ground was injured."
Right. It fell in a field. Now, he parachuted, and from an account I read, it sounded like he parachuted onto the course. And I'm just wondering, under the rules of golf, if you hit,
he went down with the blimp.
No, I thought he parachuted. Somebody said he parachuted.
Never saw that anywhere. Even the Associated Press.
I could have been hallucinating it. Let's assume.
But the Associated Press could not confirm witness reports that the pilot skydived from the blimp.
Yeah,
maybe you're correct.
I think he landed, and I think Ricky Fowler's third shot on the par 5 15th actually hit him.
Well, the aircraft's operators don't usually
What's
carry.
the rules of golf?
I'm speaking here.
Sorry.
The aircraft's operators don't usually carry parachutes.
Oh.
So you have to, made for a good story, but don't think the blimp will be back up.
No, did you see the remains of the blimp? I mean, it's just like this.
Oh, it's awful.
It just looks like a balloon that.
And then we're awful on playing the Hindenburg going down. We're horrible people this morning.
But we cut it off and said we're sorry, so we had the best of both worlds.
Yes, exactly. Other news, did you watch the game? The most touted baseball game, and we're not talking MLB, we're talking the congressional baseball game, which has been played for years. And
can I throw a fly in the ointment here? I don't know. Do you throw the fly in the ointment? What's the idiomatic expression? Here's the thing. Steve Scalise, I've interviewed Steve Scalise. I'm a fan of Steve Scalise, and it was a horrible thing that happened. I don't like the idea of a congressional baseball game.
They've been doing this for years, and Steve Scalise has been on the team since 2008.
I don't like the idea of on our dime, and I know, maybe there's no federal money used. They have to have police protection. They have to, and I don't like them having a good time. Do your business, preferably from home. You can use Skype right now. You don't even have to go to Washington anymore. I don't like them doing stuff. I don't like the collegiality. I don't like them being together. I don't like that Washington, D.C. is one of the one of the richest areas in the nation, while the rest of the nation has suffered because they're all having a party there because everybody winds up getting taxed to subsidize.
Well, the evening started like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's play ball.
That's not even. He's not enthusiastic.
Well,
that's not how an umpire talks.
He's not a sporty guy. President Trump on the jumbotron came. It was too dangerous. It was a security issue for him to come to the actual game. So he made a prepared statement that he videotaped, and they played it at the game.
We owe it to the country to show.
I want to take a moment to send our thoughts, love, and prayers to Congressman Steve Scalise and his entire family. Steve is our friend, he's a patriot, and he's a true fighter. I know you all will be playing extra hard tonight for Steve. We pray for all of the victims of this terrible crime who are still recovering, including Zachary Barth and Matt Micah, both of whom are respected and cherished by so many. We also praise Special Agents Crystal Griner and David Bailey of the Capitol Police for their heroic deeds that saved so many lives. What a great job they did. And we thank all of the members of the Alexandria Fire, Police, and Rescue.
He's the
In
worst
Washington,
at
we
reading
have our
from the prompter.
disagreements.
He is
But
so
we all agree
bad.
that we are here to serve this nation we love.
Yes.
And the people who call it home. That's the source of unity.
Yeah.
And more than ever, we must embrace it so that on the special night, I leave you with three great
I mean, why doesn't he just ad-lib something? He's great at ad-libbing, gets himself in trouble. To hear him just go on and on. That was played on the Jumbotron?
Oh, yeah.
So of the 23,000 who showed up, like 10,000 walked out during that.
No, they didn't. They stayed for the game. And a lot of people showed up a lot more than planned. But the thing is, the Republicans lost. The Democrats beat them 11-2. And David Bailey, that Capitol Police officer who was slightly injured the other day, he threw out the first pitch, so that was good. And he walked out there with a crutch. I mean, I watched the recap of
now,
this.
Were they
and
ever
stayed up all night?
Were the Democrats ever up by 10 or more runs? Because then you'd have the slaughter rule. Oh, wait a minute, Pat. That's no. I'm sorry. No. Delete that. Delete that tweet of mine.
Too soon. But this gave a chance for some camaraderie, some love between the Democrats and the Republicans. You know, the things that make Dan Proft crazy.
Right. I hate it too.
Well, why? I mean,
because I like gridlock.
What's wrong with
fighting.
What's wrong with the national kumbaya moment?
Unity is bull. It's
okay, well,
bull.
here's Nancy Pelosi holding hands with Paul Ryan.
But this game is a game where we always come to have fun, root for everybody to do their very best, and hope that our team wins. Tonight, we're all Team Scalise. And it's interesting for us because our pitcher is our best player, Cedric Richmond.
Yeah. He's the best player of all the Republicans and Democrats in their pitcher.
And he and Steve are very, very close
Nancy,
friends. They're very close friends.
I bet you Nancy Pelosi doesn't even know that.
Said, since Steve can't play tonight, why don't you give up Cedric?
Give up Cedric. We'll take him.
Shut up. Here's the thing. I bet you she doesn't even know what the infield fly rule is.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. All right. I bet she doesn't even. I bet
She's
she
a
doesn't care because
girl.
she was there yesterday to show unity.
There's no
to
unity.
show love between Republicans and Democrats.
There's nothing wrong with name calling and this and that. The violence isn't right, and of course it's the Democrats who condone. It's Nancy Pelosi who condones violence because in her home state, when Berkeley denied, who was it, Mia Yiannopoulos or whatever his name is, there was violence. And where was Nancy Pelosi on this? The Democrats are silent when Charles Murray is assaulted at Middlebury College. When Berkeley happens, I just saw Melissa Harris Perry, former MSNBC fungible host, said, let's return to the good old days of violence. They condone it. And you know why they condone it? Because they think Trump is evil incarnate. They feel justified in doing that. So
I
this
think
is
both
baloney.
parties are to blame. For...
Nobody think. Oh, did you see Jeff Snowflake? That's what I'm calling him right now.
Why?
Jeff Snowflake. He said Trump could stop calling the opposition losers. Oh, please.
Well, he
you
should.
can't call them losers.
Well, things that he could stop doing, referring to others in the other party as losers or using other language that just isn't becoming. And it's done on our side as well, and certainly the president's opponents use that kind of language as well, going after him, and I think that they ought to stop that.
Senator?
It's degrading to the office of the presidency when Trump's up there. Wait, no, let me finish. When Trump's up there going, loser, and he's an idiot. I mean,
maybe it's time we degraded the office of the presidency because we've had the imperial presidency too much. We need a king of the United States so that we can have all the ceremony and the pomp and circumstance associated with that. Because one of the problems in this country is that we've reposed so much authority in the president, who then gets to issue executive orders to wit Barack Obama, all his extra constitutional activity. And it's time for Congress to pick up the ball, not the baseball on that diamond at that game at Nationals Stadium. It's time for them to pick up the ball and walk and chew gum at the same time.
Well, even your buddy Charles Krauthammer said the language needs to be toned down by both sides.
If the other guy wins, it's the end of the republic. If the other guy wins, it's the end of the world. The man who did the shooting yesterday is a man who bought into that quite literally. I mean, you can speak about hyperbolically, but when those are the stakes, when you say, unless we stop Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, the republic will not survive, then that justifies anything. Yeah, but that's the language,
Chucky,
the ideology, the rationale of terrorists. The fate of the world hangs on this. And it's up to the leadership to say these are policies. This is not the fate of the republic.
I'd never said that if Hillary Clinton had been elected, that that it was Armageddon. I mean, we're slouching toward Gomorrah, but we've been doing that for a long time.
There's certain people who process politics differently. And this guy, Hodgkinson, whatever, loser boy. Oh, I said the word loser. I'm sorry. He knew exactly what he was doing. I mean, he went to Washington, D.C. for a purpose. And I think that it was to assassinate President Trump. But he couldn't get to him, so then he went after congressional members. and Senate leaders who are Republicans. He knew because he was filled with so much hate. He was so angry that President Trump one of his postings is like, I want to say, Mr. President, thank him for being such a blank hole. You are truly the biggest blank hole we've ever had in Oval Office.
You know what he needed to do? He needed to get his expressions out some other way, perhaps join the troupe that did Shakespeare in the Park in New York and portrayed Trump as Julius Caesar being bloodied up.
But don't you think that fed into his motivations?
Of course it
Seeing
did.
Kathy Griffin with a bloody head of President Trump?
Yes.
That it's okay?
Also, the actual violence, not just the theatrical violence or the rhetoric, the actual violence of Berkeley and Middlebury.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. Let's go to Tim, who joins us from Woodstock. Good morning, Tim. How are you?
Real good, Amy. Thank you. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning.
Morning. You know, I didn't like the idea of the game either because I see the Democrats using it as an opportunity to say, okay, you know, the narrative's going to change. Can't we? And to give the appearance of can't we all just get along now? And I really do. I know people are trying to take the high road and say that it was the shooter's fault, and ultimately it is. But the Democrats and the left, I should say the left, has really fostered an environment out there with the nightly assassination of President Trump and the beheadings and other comments that have been made. They have fostered an environment. I'm still waiting for Paul Krugman to step up and say about the left what he did about the right when Gabby Gifford was.
Yeah, remember when who was it? When Rush Limbaugh was blamed for the Oklahoma City bombing by President Clinton. Yeah, Timothy McVeigh was caused by Rush Limbaugh. So I mean, it's standard. Of course, the Democrats are going to say it's just this guy's fault, or that we need gun control. That's what they're going to.
Thanks, Tim, for the phone call. Let's go to our good friend Candace. Candace from DuPage. Good morning, Candace. How are you?
Good morning. I don't think there's any moral equivalency, Amy, between the left and the right. As far as rhetoric, I mean, the left always outdoes the right by far. You never had, there was a play in an obscure place where nobody wants to go watch it, like Minnesota, of Obama, Julius Caesar thing. But we're not talking about like corporate sponsored by Time Warner and American Express in Central Park.
Of course, they did withdraw. Delta withdrew its sponsorship. So you see some retrenchment. Yeah.
Time Warner still in Amex is disgusting. So, I mean, Mark Levin was talking last night, and he's right. They are mainstreaming. The left is mainstreaming and make it normalized that it's okay to assassinate the president. So it is it's not at all surprising that this guy did what he did. And I think there will be others, and it's really sad. But you don't see the right doing that.
I agree. I agree with you.
Thanks, Candace.
I would like to know, Amy, your examples. Because, see, this is what's going to happen. Every time this happens, it's just going to be like when Muslims attack people. There's going to be a moral equivalency. There is no moral equivalency on the right. We don't think that way. We're not that violent.
Well, we believe in free speech, Candace. For example, on campus, and the left doesn't even believe in discussing anything. I mean, a lot of the left doesn't. You saw that professor at Evergreen State hoisted by his own petard. Yeah. I mean, I loved it. This Bernstein or whatever his name is, very articulate, smart, lefty professor, all of a sudden is shocked. He's absolutely shocked that his progeny, the students,
they
have
turned
decided.
on him.
They totally turned on him. Ha, ha.
Let's go to Tom, who joins us from Deer Park. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
Good morning. Well, thank you. My comment was not so much on the game itself, but the fact that they practiced for over a month and the comedy that brings. Both sides. They've been doing this for a long time, and you'll hear that they used to work out together. Democrats and Republicans work out in the gym, go out to dinner, and do things. And the environment has really changed between staff and fundraising. There really is like a big divide in the party. So, I don't watch the game, and I never have. But the notion that the members and their staffs can get together for a month and on a ball field, I think as a citizen, to me, it's just good for our country.
Thank you.
Where you're not beating your heads against the wall and smashing each other on cable TV. Where you just get together like normal people. And get to know one another.
Yeah, as Paul Ryan said, attack on one is an attack on all of
How
them.
much money did this cost, Tom?
We don't know.
How much money for all
Well,
the
we do know this. The
protection?
Democrats who won 11-2, they're going to bring the trophy
Right.
to Scalise's hospital room. Because that'll make it all better. We should note that last night, Scalise underwent a second surgery to deal with internal injuries and a broken bone in his leg.
He's in really bad shape.
Yeah, and he's going to require additional operations, and he's going to be in the hospital for some time.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Father's Day forecast and people heading out to Erin Hills for the U.S. Open. What are they going to be encountering, Bruce
Well,
Wolf?
today, around here anyway, and I assume it's the same
Wait,
for...
can you do chat? Do the weather and chat.
Today, clouds and sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Warm, high of 88 tonight. Rather cloudy, warm. We're talking humid with a shower. We're talking thunderstorms around. We're not talking, we're saying it's a low of 69. I'm just reading this off the sheet of paper off my iPhone app. Who needs Cheryl Scott?
Tomorrow, partly sunny with a thunderstorm. Storms can bring hail and damaging winds. High of 86. Low tomorrow night, 67. Sunday, breezy with sunny intervals. A thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. High of 83. Low Sunday night, 60. Now for a check of traffic, here's Jim Telemonte.
Monte.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Chet. We go live. The west side, 2 fires are blazing this morning. A 3-alarm fire has Grand Avenue and also Augusta, both blocked off between Holman and Kedzie. This is in a vacant warehouse. And then also on the west side, but east of there, Lake Street is closed between Ogden and Ashland. There's a fire in a vacant auto repair shop. Eden's inbound, just a little sluggish approaching the junction. Otherwise, it's fine. Inbound Kennedy, it's scattered delays now. It's 25 minutes, so here to downtown, outbound 22. Inbound Eisenhower, 42 minutes. Thorndale to the loop, outbound 32. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound still fine. Ryan is 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 22. Northwest Indiana's fine, and southern Wisconsin, good too for those heading up to Hartford. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
ChicagoRadioDeals.com has pulled the trigger to bring you classes for Illinois gun owners. Take advantage of Illinois concealed carry classes from Safer USA. Dave Lombardo, class instructor, is offering his concealed carry 16-hour seminar for only $150. This seminar is normally $300. It covers everything you need to know to protect you and your family with a concealed carry firearm for personal protection or against a home invasion. Dave is a pro and former police officer. Get in a little range time as well with a 1-year range membership from the Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Winthrop Harbor. This is the premier gun range in Northeast Illinois, and a 1-year membership is only $149. That's a $350 value. Your range membership includes great discounts on products and services at the Outdoorsman Sports Shop. Find out all the details on ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Also featuring great deals on many other lifestyle training classes at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Greta is a drill instructor.
On your feet and negotiate this obstacle.
Yes, ma'am. When it comes to training lean, mean, fighting machines, she doesn't mess around.
I do not have all day, people.
But in her free time, Greta's an amazing poet, and she knows it.
The green grass, it whispers to me like an ancient firefly.
Look at her throw those verses with confidence. But when it comes to getting a mortgage, Greta's less confident.
A little help here?
Fortunately for Greta, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so she can understand the details and know she's getting the right mortgage.
My confidence. It's returned like a jealous lover on a rainy night.
Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Go to rocketmortgage.com today.
Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free, and we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
It takes a lot of courage to face your own death, but I'm glad I finally did. See, I was putting off getting life insurance to protect my family, even though I knew it was important. Then my neighbor's husband died. I watched her struggle emotionally and financially. It really made me face reality. If my husband died, how would I pay the mortgage, the car payments, or keep up the life the kids and I had? I realized I needed to get us life insurance right away. So I called AIG Direct. In less than 5 minutes, I had a quote. I was shocked at how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. I feel so much better knowing my family has protection.
Call AIG Direct right now for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you can save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-500-3471. That's 1-800-500-3471. 1-800-500-3471.
I met someone. You hear it a lot from people on Match because more people have met their someone on Match than on any other dating app. Everyone wants to find that meaningful connection, and Match is not only #1 in first, but second dates, too. Now, here's a free offer for our listeners. Go to Match.com/show for 7 days free. That's 7 days completely free to search, view photos, and connect. This free offer is found at Match.com/show. That's Match.com/show. Match.com/show.
AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
So some breaking news this morning, according to Russian media reports. The leader of ISIS allegedly killed in an airstrike along with 330 other terrorists. We'll get the latest coming up from Lieutenant Colonel Paul Latino. And remember that man who robbed a bank, Bruce, to get away from his wife? Yeah.
This is an ironic story.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Well, he has been sentenced, but you're going to have to wait to hear to what.
Irony abounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
On this Father's Day weekend. But now let's go into the newsroom and say happy Father's Day early to a great dad, father of 4. Here's Mike Scott.
Thank you, Amy and Bruce. 71 degrees in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. President Trump will announce a new Cuba policy during a speech in Miami today. Senior White House officials say the plan will significantly restrict U.S. companies from doing business with Cuban enterprises controlled by the military regime. President Trump says playing the annual congressional baseball game is a sign that America will not be intimidated by acts of violence.
I leave you with 3 great American words that for generations have torn down barriers, built bridges of unity, and defied those who have sought to pull us apart. Ladies and gentlemen, let's play ball.
In a taped message ahead of last night's game, the president sending thoughts and prayers to Congressman Steve Scalise, shot and critically injured while practicing for the game on Wednesday. Democrats won that contest 11-2, then presented the trophy to Republicans to give to House Majority Whip Scalise. Vice President Mike Pence now has a lawyer over the Russian probe. The leader of ISIS may be dead. Russia's Ministry of Defense says it's looking into reports that an airstrike it carried out last month in Syria may have killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. The pilot of a blimp that crashed near the site of the U.S. Open is being treated for major burns at a Wisconsin hospital. The PenFed Credit Union blimp was over the golf course when it suddenly deflated and then burst into flames. The jury in the Bill Cosby sexual assault trial will try and reach a decision today. The jury had reported they were deadlocked. The judge then told them to continue deliberating and refused a defense request for a mistrial. 2 escaped inmates accused of killing prison guards in Georgia are back in custody this morning. Donnie Russell Rowe and Ricky DuBose were captured yesterday following a car and foot chase in Tennessee.
The pursuit lasted for approximately 10 miles, where the suspect vehicle during that time was firing numerous rounds at the Rutherford County Deputy Sheriffs.
Following a chase on I-24, the inmates fled to nearby homes where they were taken into custody after being held by the homeowners with guns. Firefighters are battling a 3-alarm blaze on Chicago's west side. Fire began early this morning inside a vacant building near Grand and Homan. No one is in custody after an elderly man was shot and killed on Chicago's south side. The 77-year-old was gunned down yesterday in a drive-by near 68th and Hermitage. Illinois lawmakers are being forced back to the State House to possibly get a state budget done. Governor Bruce Rauner calling for a 10-day special session to begin next Wednesday. Lawmakers are facing a series of negative consequences if majority Democrats refuse to come to budget terms by July 1st. White Sox drop the Orioles 5-2. Cubs open up a 3-game series with the Pirates tomorrow. I'm Mike Scott. At 6:32, the news service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. At 6:33, it's time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes the Democrats are victorious in the Comey testimony.
The Democrats have won a fantastic victory by continuing this Russian collusion story, which has still has no basis. You understand? Nothing. All the leaks, all the investigation, nothing. Great victory for the left here. How they have made a crisis out of nothing.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
All Nissans are created equal. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. At Nissan of St. Charles, we go the extra mile to make sure your happiness lasts as long as you own your vehicle. Every new Nissan or used vehicle we sell comes with our exclusive Lifetime Advantage warranty. So when you get your new Nissan at Nissan of St. Charles, you'll drive with peace of mind knowing it's backed by our exclusive warranty that lasts the lifetime of your vehicle. Be sure to ask about our Lifetime Tire program. And this month only, Nissan of St. Charles is giving away a brand new Nissan Sentra. That's a new 2017 Nissan Sentra. Just visit Nissan of St. Charles by June 24th and register for our giveaway. Or visit nissanofstcharles.com for complete details. Nissan of St. Charles, located on North Avenue in the heart of St. Charles. Or visit us online at nissanofstcharles.com. Nissan of St. Charles. Experience the difference.
6:35. Let's get an update on the roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's west side, Grand Avenue is closed between Holman and Kedzie due to that multi-alarm fire, and a vacant warehouse. Augusta is closed as well between Holman and Kedzie. A separate fire has Lake Street closed between Ogden and Ashland. About Eden's 22 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 19th. Kennedy, 26 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 22. And about Eisenhower, delays start at Manheim. It's 42 minutes. Thorndale to downtown outbound 32. Stevenson now 59 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 42 minutes. Ryan is 23 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-States, those Southwest Highway to 75th. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. The other tollways are good. Northwest Indiana's clear. Traffic is a service of Dove Men Plus Care. Hear that 91% of guys that use Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant recommend it. Dove Men Plus Care user Rob said it's like the Hoover Dam for his armpits. If it can hold back that much sweat, Rob, it must be good. Pick up some new Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant for yourself at your local retailer. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Clouds and sun today. We'll have a couple of showers. Maybe a thunderstorm, a warm afternoon with a high of 88. Warm and humid with a shower or storm overnight, lows 69. Partly sunny tomorrow with thunderstorms that could bring hail or damaging winds and a high of 86. Currently 71. Next news coming up at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in for Dan this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT,
Some call me the sage from South Central. Others call me the czar of common sense. But you can call me Larry Elder. And you're invited to join me tonight, starting at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
So some breaking news while you were sleeping, according to the Russian ministry. They say that an airstrike back in May of 28th killed the ISIS leader al-Baghdadi. Are you familiar with al-Baghdadi?
Yes.
Bruce Wolf? Oh, thank you, by the way, for coming in.
Good to be here.
Yeah, allegedly, this has not been confirmed by U.S. officials, but CNN reporting this morning and others about the death of the Islamic leader al-Baghdadi. And with that, we welcome back to the program Lieutenant Colonel Paul Latino, former U.S. military officer and now adjunct professor at many places, including Peace University in North Carolina. Good morning, Lieutenant Colonel. How are you?
I'm great. Hello, Amy and Bruce. How are you?
Good. So how significant would this be if indeed that airstrike killed al-Baghdadi?
Well, I wouldn't get too worked up about it because they've made those claims before. So that's not something that I think is we should really dive into at this point, because it could turn out that it's not the truth. They've made that claim before.
Yeah, I mean, it happened May 28th, and now what? It's June. So was this, do you think, a propaganda victory for Russia or an attempt at that?
It could be true. I guess we just have to wait and see. But what I would like to talk about is what your previous segment. Mm-hmm. Since I teach flying courses for a couple of colleges, I'd like to throw out some things that I noticed about what the students I teach, what they're coming across and what I glean from them. So the last time I was on, we talked about the attack just before Christmas, in which there was a truck ramming in Berlin that left 12 people dead. And at that time, I mentioned that we would likely see continued attacks against various soft targets. So one thing I noticed from my students is that they have a hard time grasping certain facts. And reality is hard to get across to them. So if I were to say that radical Islam wants to establish a caliphate and rule the world, they have a hard time grasping this. If I say that they want to kill all non-believers or convert them, that is a hard concept for students to grasp. They just can't believe that this is actually a goal.
Even if you quoted the Quran, or I mean, why are they pushing back on this, or why do you think? And I take it you're the professor of millennials.
Correct. I have a broad spectrum, but millennials are included in that. I just don't think that their life experience is enough to for them to believe that such a group exists. And when I tell them there's no amount of appeasement on our part that's going to stop the radicals from trying to accomplish their goal. For example, if we close Gitmo, is that going to stop radical Islam from attacking us? No. If we provide jobs, which was suggested by some politicians, is that going to stop them? No. So that's what I try to get across to my students is they're out there to kill us, and we're at a war with radical Islam.
Well, here's the thing.
So that's the first.
Yeah, that's the way kids are. I remember when I was growing up, everybody thought, a lot of people thought, what's wrong with communism? When people said, when Reagan called the communists, Russia, the evil empire, he was booed for that, for his heated rhetoric. Kids want to think, oh, everybody's fine. Nobody really wants to do us any harm. It's kind of an American thing. We want to insulate ourselves. We don't want to worry about the rest of the world. And so it just seems like this goes from generation to generation. This is today's version of it.
Yeah, that's true. But what I try to do is give them an alternate point of view from what they're normally getting, right? So that leads into my second point, which is the research skills that they have. It's hard for them to recognize fake news and separate fiction from fact. And in fact, it's hard for a lot of us.
It's hard for me, Lieutenant Colonel. Right. I mean, I've been a believer. I was a journalist for 18 plus years, and I always believe in attribution. And they tell you, quote, 2 sources. And now you have the, Washington Post yesterday quoting 5 sources about the, Donald Trump's obstruction of justice investigation. And I don't even believe CNN anymore.
Exactly, and that gets to my point. It's very difficult to recognize this. So I think part of what I'm supposed to do is, show them the alternate side of what they're always accustomed to. So if I had a simple question, which I often ask them, did you think Donald Trump had a chance, just a chance, of beating Hillary Clinton and becoming president? 100%, the answer is no way. There's no way any of them thought that he could win. So what does that tell you? That tells you that they need to change their news source because they're being duped and they're possibly being lied to, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fairness, I have to say, Lieutenant Colonel, that I didn't think he had a chance, and I read National Review every single day, and it's not just Never Trumpers either. But what's interesting is that these students who don't, who have their heads in the sand, they could wind up being the soft targets of the radical Islamists. That's because that's who they aim for. They aim for the people who don't look at them as a danger.
Exactly, and as we saw in Virginia, that guy was radicalized online because he did not research any sources that countered his point of view, right?
You know what?
Well, he himself was radical online. I mean, he posted one time, "Trump is a traitor. Trump has destroyed our democracy. It's time to destroy Trump and company." But is that violent rhetoric? Do you think that posting would lead to something so horrific?
Yeah, I think if you're constantly viewing the same sources and you constantly think Hillary's going to lift Trump and that he doesn't have a chance, then I think you need to change your news source. I think you need to look for alternative, just to maybe get a different point of view.
Well, Lieutenant Colonel, I've worked even longer than Amy because I'm much older than she is.
He's 102, but you Botox very well.
Thank you so much. And here's the thing. I've worked in the same newsrooms that Amy did. They don't even know there's another side. They don't even know that they're biased. I've worked in the Channel 5 newsroom. You got people like Carol Marine in there who don't, legendary journalists supposedly. They're oblivious to that there is another side of the story. They live in their little bubble and witness what happened with the New York Times in their editorial about trying to connect Sarah Palin to the shooting of Gabby Giffords, when the New York Times actually reported only a couple of days after the shooting that this paranoid schizophrenic was not at all motivated by Sarah Palin. But that's the bubble.
He was not
that
at all a
live in.
Republican or a conservative.
Right.
He was a crazy.
That's the bubble they live. It's not students. It's their parents as well.
Yeah, well, it can be comical. I once had a student cite The Onion, which is a satirical website paper, as fact that which she believed.
Well, what was the story? Wait, I want to hear this.
I know what the story was, that Wolf Blitzer raised this child.
Was raised by wolves?
Right. This 11-year-old child was raised by Wolf Blitzer.
No,
that was true.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Can you recall, Lieutenant Colonel, what the story was that she quoted in The Onion?
Yeah, the article was about suicide bombers who were getting paid big money to blow themselves up, and she cited how happy that the families were that they now had money, and that she didn't realize the person was dead and thought that he was caring for his family still. And it was just bizarre.
That's worse than The Onion's Ebert Victorious headline after Siskel died. Which was pretty macabre.
That's pretty
yeah,
good.
Pretty bad.
Do you think the bombing in Manchester, though, at the Ariana Grande concert, because for my kids, I know that made this fight against ISIS and Al Qaeda real, because it was their people. I mean, a lot of kids that were 8, 9, 10 years old died in that blast.
Yeah, I think that maybe that'll hit home a little more than what we've been seeing. So the last thing I want to talk about is the writing ability. So when these students write, and Amy, you're going to have 2 boys going to college, they tend to not write in a clear and concise manner, free of spelling, grammar, agreement errors.
Well, and there's no penmanship courses, so they can't even read the letters that Grandma Wheezy sends them.
Yeah, incomplete thoughts. So my advice is I try to get them to focus on the facts focus on the question, answer the questions, and not include the fluff that they hear on, Facebook or other things. Stick to what is required.
Lieutenant Colonel,
So those are some.
it's not just your students who need a lecture from you. Bob Dylan, the winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature, apparently, I mean, this hasn't been proven yet, but there
Is this fake news, Bruce?
No, apparently plagiarized. I say apparently plagiarized his speech before the Nobel Committee, which he was required to give in order to get the prize, from Spark Notes. But he used quotes about Herman Melville from Spark Notes. Now, this hasn't been proven yet, but there's certainly a case to be made, because Bob Dylan, as you know, all his lyrics, nobody knows what he's talking about. How does it feel? Nobody understands that. And that's fine. It's music. But actual literature, he couldn't write. And he realizes that. I mean, he's humble that way. I'm really humble. But here's everybody must get stoned. But here's the thing. If Bob Dylan, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature, can't write out a coherent thought, what do you expect from your millennials? Cut them some slack, give them all A's, and just be done with it, okay?
I'll take that advice.
Yeah,
Thank you, Lieutenant
Thanks so
Colonel.
much, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Latino, for joining us again. Have a great weekend and happy Father's Day.
Thank you. You too.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, what have you done to get away from your wife or spouse? But first, here's your forecast.
Today, clouds and sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Warm, high of 88. Tonight, rather cloudy, warm and humid with a shower and thunderstorms around. Low of 69. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a thunderstorm. Storms can bring hail and damaging winds. High of 86. Low tomorrow night, 67. Your Father's Day forecast. Breezy with sunny intervals. A thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. High of 83. Low sunny night, 60. Now for a check of traffic, here's Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Cliff. Good morning. Great to hear you again. Good morning, Bruce and Amy. On Chicago's west side, a 3-alarm fire has Grand Avenue closed between Holman and Kedzie. Augusta is also blocked off between Holman and Kedzie. And a separate fire has Lake Street closed between Ogden and Ashland. Edens is 23 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. The Kennedy, 27, just went up 37 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Express lane save a minute or two. Outbound 33 minutes downtown to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, 50 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 35. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 42 minutes. The Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, stop and go Southwest Highway to 75th. And from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, the other tollways are okay. Northwest Indiana is fine. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Nike cuts its workforce because of heavy competition. Nestle may be losing its sweet tooth in this country. The Federal Reserve to release an update on inflation. Those stories next.
Fire the stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Larry Levin, and I've been on the trading floor for 23 years. I was one of the biggest traders in the S&P pit. I'm also the president of Trading Advantage, a leading educational firm teaching people how to become professional day traders. Now, for a limited time, I'm offering one of the trading techniques I used to make $1.9 million for free. Get started right now by calling 800-288-0092. Leave your email address on my voicemail, and I'll email you my free trading technique and my daily insider market report at no cost to you. This is the very information I used to build my fortune.
I was getting ready to retire. I still needed to make extra income, but I didn't want to work for anyone else. Because of Larry and his excellent instructors, I could trade successfully for myself, and I'll never have to work for someone else again.
Fire the stockbroker and hire the most dependable person you know, you. Again, call in the next 90 minutes and leave your email address on my voicemail. Call 800-288-0092. That's 800-288-0092.
Nestle, which makes candy bars like Butterfinger and other favorites, may be planning to sell its candy business in the U.S. The Swiss-based company said to be reviewing its strategic options. That's code for being unhappy with its anemic 2016 sales. Economic reports out today include the update on housing starts, consumer attitudes on the economy, and inflation from the Fed. The world's #1 shoemaker, Nike, says it's cutting 2% of its global workforce in the face of rising competition. Nike also plans plans to eliminate 25% of its shoe styles because of rapidly changing consumer trends. And Japanese defective airbag maker Takata plans to file for bankruptcy as early as next week. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
How would you like to have insurance for your computer network? Something to protect your hardware and software, and more importantly, give you peace of mind. Using Turnkey IT for installation and support of your systems is like having insurance for your computer network. For one affordable monthly payment, your company gets a full team of certified technicians who are there for you, working in the background to ensure your systems are up and running. They'll help you over the phone and make house calls to your workplace. And Turnkey IT doesn't wait until there's an emergency call because they work hard to take preventative measures, keeping networks secure, backed up, and running nonstop. Turnkey IT can protect your network with the Turnkey experience, where everything is included. Office 365's hosting, advanced network protection, cloud backup, disaster recovery, and unlimited remote and on-site support. Find out what Turnkey IT can do for your company today. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
The secret to how the rich keep getting richer is by passing down their wealth, generation to generation. If you do the same thing, you'll be leaving a legacy and be doing one of the most important things possible for the people you love. The ugly truth is, you don't have an estate plan. Everything you own, including your house, cars, investments, everything could be tied up in courts for a year or longer. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, even double government taxation. You can avoid this painful, costly mistake by contacting Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group. Tom hosts the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturday mornings at 9 on AM 560, and has been a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. Right now, Alpha Wealth Group is offering you a free estate planning kit if you call 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed. and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-5602. Home insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-5602. That's 1-800-400-5602. 1-800-400-5602.
AM 560. The Answer.
All right, earlier we were talking about that blimp that burst into flames over the U.S. Open in Erin Hills golf course in Wisconsin.
Did not affect Ricky Fowler's backswing.
No, it landed in a field about a half mile away from the course. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Yes, you are correct, Bruce Wilf. He did parachute out. The pilot did parachuted out of the burning blimp.
And I mean, he's burned, and it's a terrible thing. But
40% of his body.
Where did he land?
Burned.
I wanted to know. Do we know that he landed? I thought he landed on one of the holes in the golf course.
He did not. That would be fake news.
Right. You know what we got coming up, Amy?
What do we've got coming up?
Oh, we're not.
Yeah.
I don't have to say that yet.
No, that's all right.
I thought we were at tease time.
No, we're almost at tease time.
I'm a little bit off because
why?
I have not been in this business for the last few months.
Oh, well, I listened to you and Sean and fill in while Dan and I were in Dominican Republic. I thought you two did a wonderful job. I listened 3 days.
That is more than Sean listened to me. I'll tell you that much.
But the last day, I have to tell you, you guys acted like you were going to war. I love you, man. As if you're never going to see each other again. You guys will be back together.
The guy topped every single story I told. He had a better one.
Coming
I
up
was a little
on
bit fed up with him.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Trump tweets about Clinton after news of obstruction of justice investigation. And then?
Oh, now?
Yes.
Okay, now. Oh, okay. Fox News is shedding its fair and balanced moniker.
We'll tell you why.
Yes.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce here. The stories we're following at this hour. An elderly man killed in a Chicago's shooting while Governor Rauner calls for a special session on the budget, and the Northern Illinois University president quitting after a probe. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
He's still critical, but Steve Scalise is improving. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Steve, I love you. We miss you. We were thinking about you last night.
Republican Congressman Chuck Fleischman played in that charity ball game. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, some extraordinary moments on the ball field last night. Republicans and Democrats prayed together at second base. And after the Democrats won, they handed the trophy to Republicans to take back to Congressman Scalise. Republican Congressman Ron DeSantis says he hopes the warm feelings will last.
You know, you have these tough debates. Be strong, be principled, but don't use it to kind of assassinate someone's character.
Meanwhile, Congressman Scalise remains in critical condition after he underwent another surgical procedure last night. Doctors say he is gradually improving. Dave.
Rachel, President Trump appeared on the Jumbotron before the game.
We will not be intimidated by threats, acts of violence, or assaults on our democracy.
The president has just tweeted after 7 months of investigations and committee hearings about collusion with the Russians, nobody's been able to show any proof. Sad. This is the Washington Post reports the special counsel is also investigating the financial and business dealings of his son-in-law, advisor Jared Kushner. Russia claims it's killed the leader of ISIS in an airstrike in Syria last month, but the U.S.-led coalition cannot confirm that's true. It's now up to 30 people dead in Wednesday's London high-rise fire.
We always knew the number of those that have died would increase.
Police Commander Stuart Cundy says there's no evidence it was started deliberately. Dozens still remain missing as they search the blackened 24-story apartment building. 3 days after 2 Georgia prisoners killed 2 guards, then escaped, they were captured in Tennessee.
And his true bravery is what's caused us to be able to stand here before you tonight.
That's Tennessee Bureau of Investigation Director Mark Gwynn. He says an elderly couple contacted police after Donnie Rowe and Ricky DuBose broke into their home and stole their car. That led to a chase, then they crashed. And when they tried to steal another car, a homeowner stopped them at gunpoint until police arrived. Fox News, fair and balanced.
71 degrees in Chicago. We have cloudy skies this morning. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Firefighters mopping up after a 3-alarm blaze on Chicago's west side. Fire tore through a vacant building near Grand and Homan. The roof collapsed. One minor injury on the street has been reported. Firefighters are okay. No one is in custody after an elderly man was shot and killed on Chicago's south side. Police investigators say the 77-year-old was gunned down yesterday near 68th and Hermitage. And investigators tell us the gunman was aiming at another man sitting on a nearby curb. Governor Rauner scolding Democrats holding his budget hostage, and he calls lawmakers back to a 10-day special session. AM 560's David Stewart has more.
In a Facebook video, Governor Rauner blames Democrats for the failure to have a budget for the past 2 years, and he accused them of blocking a compromise for the sake of politics.
We have to stop only thinking about the next election and truly focus on our next generation. We all need to adopt a serious sense of urgency.
Rauner said he would sign a budget plan put forward by minority Republicans. The Democrats, though, accused Rauner of thwarting previous budget compromises because they didn't include his anti-union reforms. The new fiscal year starts in July. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Attorney General Lisa Madigan believes Mayor Rahm Emanuel is open to the idea of a federal judge overseeing Chicago police reforms. She made those comments after a closed-door meeting with the mayor on Wednesday. Popular YouTube singer from Bloomingdale now banned from the internet while facing child pornography charges. Austin Jones was also released on home confinement after a court hearing yesterday. Northern Illinois University soon looking for a new president after Doug Baker announced yesterday he's stepping down at the end of the month. The resignation comes after a scathing NIU audit. White Sox beat the Orioles 5-2. Cubs tackle the Pirates in Pittsburgh. The news service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity has an answer to at least a few of the problems plaguing this country.
50 million on food stamps, 95 million Americans out of the labor force, worst recovery since the 40s, double the national debt. If we can get the Trump agenda through, we're going to help all those people that are suffering because of bad government policies.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Greta is a drill instructor.
Move, move, move!
Yes, ma'am. When it comes to training lean, mean, fighting machines, she doesn't mess around.
Drop and give me 3,000.
But when it comes to getting a mortgage, Greta's less confident.
I got nothing.
Fortunately for Greta, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so she can understand the details and know she's getting the right mortgage. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Go to rocketmortgage.com today.
Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
When smart businesses need to grow their team, they do it on the site proven to deliver. Indeed.com. According to an independent study, Indeed delivers 5 times more hires than any other job site, more hires than the rest combined. And right now we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job, boosting your listing and relevant search results. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
7:06. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Firefighters remain at the scene of a 3-alarm blaze, which has Grand Avenue closed to the west side between Homan and Kedzie. We're told the fire is out now, but firefighters will be there for a while for cleanup and dealing with potential hot spots. Augusta is also closed between Homan and Kedzie. A different fire has Lake Street closed between Ashland and Ogden. Dunedin's 24 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. The Kennedy, 37 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 17 from Montrose and 14 in the Express. Outbound 16 minutes to Montrose, 37 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's 50 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, 33 from Mannheim. Outbound 35 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, it's an hour and 2 minutes. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to the Loop, northbound Tri-State. Jammed, Cicero to 75th, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway slow 22nd to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial slow 75th most to the way to Roosevelt. No delays to report on I-80 or in Northwest Indiana. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, periods of clouds and sunshine with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Warm day with a high 88. Then a rather cloudy, warm, and humid night tonight with a shower or a thunderstorm around, a low 69. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Cloudy and 71 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Bruce Wolf sitting in for us for Dan this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fox River Periodontics, Chicagoland specialist with dental implants. To get your smile back, visit implantsforme.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Friday morning and welcome back to AM 560 The Answer. Amy Jacobson here and Bruce Wolf sitting in for Dan Proft, who had to rest today after his big win yesterday and our golf outing scramble. He and his crew were 15 under. Me and my crew.
I thought they were under the table after the...
No. And me and my crew, we were... I played with the mayor of Tinley Park, Liz Gorman, former Cook County Commissioner, as well as Brad O'Halloran and John. I'm just going to call him Music John because he played his radio the entire time until the battery died. Thank goodness. So, and thanks, because of course all the proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. And we want to thank our key sponsor, Joe Cotton Ford. Tracy over there, Joe Cotton Ford, and of course Bolingbrook Golf Club for hosting a great event. And if you didn't make it out last year or this year, come next year.
Who takes a day off after just playing golf? I used to play golf every single day that I was working.
Yeah, he's in another golf tournament today.
Oh,
Dan likes to hit the little white ball down the court.
And also likes to play golf.
Yes, but thank you so much for everyone that attended. And again, the 100 Club of Chicago, you can always donate money to them because this Saturday they're going to the funeral of the Dalton firefighter who was killed a few days ago during a fire. So they're going to be presenting his family with a check to help them get through these difficult times. Big news yesterday while we were golfing, though, is that President Trump, he took to Twitter again with news of the obstruction of justice investigation. At about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he tweeted, "Why is that Hillary Clinton's family and Dems dealing with Russia are not looked at, but my non-dealings are?" Only to be followed up 10 minutes later with Crooked H destroyed phones with hammer, bleached emails, and had husband meet with AG days before she was cleared, and they talk about obstruction.
But Donald Trump dropped that. See, because he has prosecutorial discretion. Remember, he looked at Hillary Clinton during the debate and said, he stood right next to her, side to side, and said, you're going to jail, or I'm going to, we're going to continue the investigation or resurrect it because Comey had kind of closed it.
Yeah, he wanted to sign a special prosecutor for Hillary Clinton, which he did not do.
Well, then, because he's the president of the United States, and he is the boss of the Attorney General and is the boss of the FBI director, he just decided, that's it. I'm going to let her go. But no, we can't let Donald Trump go because there's no, as you were saying during the break, they're there. Thank you, Gertrude Stein. And now the charade continues.
Well, the Washington Post released an article breaking, this story that President Trump is now under investigation for obstruction of justice. And they didn't quote, but they said that they had 5 anonymous sources close to the investigation. Well, late last night, the second in charge at the Attorney General's office, the Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein, released released a statement on anonymous allegations, which I thought was, well, it's piqued my interest. Americans should exercise caution before accepting as true any stories attributed to anonymous officials, particularly when they do not identify the country, let alone the branch of agency of government. So
it's also illegal to disclose that because you're not supposed to disclose that there's an investigation going on.
Well, let's begin there with Matthew Whitaker. He's former U.S. Attorney and Executive Director of the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust. Good morning, Matthew. How are you?
Good morning, Amy and Bruce. I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, so what do you make of this Deputy Attorney General releasing this statement about anonymous allegations and sources and that it may not even be linked to American journalists?
Well, I'm super excited to talk about speculating what Rod Rosenstein would be saying in his statement. But I mean, if I'm going to tease out what that says, I mean, he's saying that the president is not under investigation for obstruction of justice. So be very cautious. I read it, the whole thing when that came out the first time with those 5 anonymous sources that the Washington Post was referring to was related to Bob Mueller's investigation and the fact that he was going to interview 3 intelligence officials, and then those 3 interviews were kind of mentioned by these 5 anonymous sources, and that's kind of who these 5 anonymous sources are is very interesting. And then for Rod to say that, who actually I served with, as he was a U.S. attorney when I was a U.S. attorney, he was in Baltimore, and U.S. attorney for Maryland, and I was in Des Moines, Iowa, but he's a good guy, and so obviously this leak that somehow Trump's under investigation for obstruction of justice bothered him enough that he felt he had to at least come out and say, that may not entirely be true.
Well, do you think President Trump encouraged him to release this statement? Because this isn't normal behavior for the second in charge at the Attorney General's office, or am I wrong?
No, this is unusual, but at the same time, these kind of things rise to a level where they are so outrageous in the allegations and sourced by people that won't even say who they are, where they work, or what they do, or how close they are to the investigation. That some of this stuff has to be dispelled, or it can dramatically alter the course of American history. And I wish Rod would have just come out and said that the president is not under investigation for obstruction of justice.
Yeah.
But,
No, Matt, I object. He had to, because if he did say that, then he would have a duty to correct later in the event that Donald Trump became a target. He'd have a duty to correct.
Correct. Well, the duty to correct is related to congressional testimony, I believe. I think that's what Jim
is it really, or is it whatever they want it to be? Because it's very difficult.
Well,
it's difficult to understand this. Comey wasn't supposed to. Rosenstein gave us his reasons that Comey should have been dismissed, which apparently Trump used as a cover for about 12 hours or 12 minutes, that Comey wasn't supposed to come out. He had exceeded his authority. But Comey felt that he supposedly had to because of the meeting between Loretta Lynch and Donald Trump on the tarmac. And then we have everything leaked except the fact that Trump isn't really under investigation, as Marco Rubio said during Comey's testimony. So it seems like it's on an ad hoc basis that we decide what should be released when the Federal Bureau of Matters, as I believe, Loretta Lynch wanted the agency's name to be changed to instead of an investigation regarding Hillary.
Yeah.
So when are you supposed to say that things are going on, and when are you not supposed to say that things are going on?
Well, fundamentally, as a former federal prosecutor, one of my favorite things to say was I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of an investigation. And we don't talk about, ongoing investigations or their existence. So I think that is always best served. And once these things start being talked about, I think it's very dangerous, and you end up in the first situation we are, where you have a bunch of federal former prosecutors coming out and speculating as to what might be going on, and then anonymous sources suggesting, sort of what is going on. But Bruce, I think we need to take a step back, and we need to talk about this administration, and more importantly, the permanent bureaucracy that is in Washington, D.C., in places like the Department of Justice and the State Department and the intelligence communities, and their willingness to leak
selective information, and they
he just
cut
got cut
his
off.
line.
He just got cut off by the feds. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying it's
NSA
a conspiracy.
is listening.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
we'll
because
try
I
to
wanted to ask. I wanted
we'll try
to
to
ask him.
reconnect with Matthew.
All right.
Yes, but what did you want to ask?
Well, because the New York Times has this story, and Andy McCarthy deconstructed it in National Review yesterday. It was hysterical. The latest story, just to add to the so-called obstruction thing,
Is the
that
possible money laundering by Jared
money
Kushner
laundering,
and
money
Paul
laundering.
Manafort?
But the point is that yes, if there was collusion, if you go with that hypothesis, then you'd look into whether there was money laundering. But they don't have the underlying thing. There is no collusion that they've been able to find. So, yeah, of course, if there was collusion, you would have money laundering. So the New York Times makes it sound like there's actually an investigation, like there's an investigation into it, like they actually have something, when actually they have bupkis, and that's a legal term of art. Bupkis.
Mr. Whitaker, hold on one second. Okay, Mr. Whitaker, are you there?
Yep, I am.
Oh, much better connection. So as you were saying, do you want to finish your thought?
Well, I was just saying it's all bupkis.
And that is a legal term of art in the Des Moines, at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Des Moines.
In Des Moines, Iowa.
Not
well,
in.
It's actually a legal term we use over in flyover country.
Oh, really? All right, so you said that you'd worked before with Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein. Rosenstein. I didn't say Stein. And is he a reputable guy? I mean, do you trust him?
Yes. I mean, it's funny. Actually, when I served with him as U.S. Attorney, we called him Rod Rosenstein. And now that he's the Deputy Attorney General, he's changed his name. So that's actually one of the funniest things.
Is that really?
That is
you're not
crazy.
Wait a minute, Matt.
It's true.
Are you pulling our leg? Is that true?
No. This is the funny thing is I for my entire and he and I served together for 5 years, and I saw Rod all the time at the various U.S. attorneys, and he's a very friendly guy. Very very serious and sober, and super kind of a prosecutor's prosecutor. But it was Rod Rosenstein, and that's what we all called him, and that's what we referred to him as, and we talked about him or talked to him. And suddenly I'm on all this. I'm on CNN and all these other national news outlets and talking about this situation, and all of a sudden the name is Rosenstein. And,
we have a scoop right here. Let's get this out on the wires. I mean, this is the biggest thing that WIND has come up with in the last 4 hours.
Well, listen, I'm afraid that if the president gets a hold of this, suddenly he's going to be tweeting about, why did Rod change his name? What's he trying to hide?
Well, he was young Rosenstein, and then when he got older, he became Stein because there's a little more cachet to Stein.
Maybe he did a DNA test and found out what his heritage actually is.
So, Matt, let me, I hate to get serious because it's just not my want, but here's the thing. And we were mentioning while we were vamping to try to get you back on the air here, this New York Times story, which Andy McCarthy deconstructs in National Review, it makes it sound like they're looking at money laundering, but they're really not looking at money laundering. They're just hypothesizing that if there was collusion, then of course you have to launder money. And as McCarthy says, but there's no there yet. Right. I mean, of course they will have a duty to correct at some point if there is a there.
Bruce, I can tell you love that duty to correct. They won't correct it.
He's got it on a T-shirt.
It never gets corrected. But you're right. I mean, and this is the thing. Let's go back. The one point I wanted to make as it relates to this sort of announcing with great fanfare from these anonymous sources to the Washington Post that the president is under investigation for obstruction of justice. Of course, the special counsel, Bob Mueller, is going to investigate that allegation. Can you imagine a scenario where he produces a report at the end of all this and doesn't look at obstruction of justice? The members of Congress, especially the Democrats, their heads would explode when they call him up in front of them and say, well, why didn't you look at obstruction of justice? In fact, we read reports that you were looking at obstruction of justice. I mean, of course he's going to look at obstruction of justice.
Right, that's what he's
Can you imagine Dianne Feinstein or Stein?
It's Feinstein
exactly.
today.
Well, I mean, listen, this is another point I made the other night on Anderson Cooper's show, is that it is very curious to me that, Jim Comey tells the president 3 times, which has been confirmed, that he's not under investigation. But suddenly, when the president fires Jim Comey, he's under investigation now for obstruction of justice. I mean, it's Jim was the one in the room where it happened, and had didn't report it to anybody except his very senior staff at the FBI, didn't tell his bosses, wrote it down in a secret memo that was not part of a FBI 302 or
In his diary.
No, his Hello Kitty.
Yeah,
book.
Dear Diary. I met with the president today.
Hey, you know, I'm so glad that Matt Whitaker agreed to slum it after he's on Anderson Cooper and
Oh,
deigned
will
to be
stop-
on with us today.
Stop it. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so
Well, you know what? Dan and Amy have been very good to me and kind of put me where I am today.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
We catapulted his career. Yes. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Matthew
you.
Whitaker, and hopefully happy Father's Day early for you.
Thank you.
And your family. Former U.S. Attorney and Executive Director of the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust. He joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up, the much anticipated story about the man who robbed a bank to get away from his wife. He has been sentenced. Oh, wait until you hear what a judge has done.
It is so ironic. It's delicious.
Yes. Forecast.
Today, clouds and sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, warm, high of 88. Tonight, rather cloudy, warm, and humid with a shower or thunderstorm. Low 69. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a thunderstorm. Storms can bring hail and damaging winds. High of 86. Low tomorrow night, 67. And on Father's Day, breezy with sunny intervals of thunderstorm and spots in the afternoon. High of 83. Low Sunday night, 60. Now for a check of traffic, here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Bruce. Good morning. Good morning, Amy. West side of Chicago, Grand Avenue remains closed between Homan and Kedzie after a multi-alarm fire. Augusta is blocked in that area as well. A separate fire has Lake Street closed between Ashland and Ogden. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 24, the Kennedy, though. Now 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 37. And Don Eisenhower, 52 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, and 35 from Manheim. Outbound 41 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 52 minutes. The Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 25 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Northbound Tri-State, heavy. Cicero to 75th. From the Hinsdale Oasis to 31st. Reagan Silver to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial slows 75th most of the way to Roosevelt. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Thinking of getting engaged to that special person in your life? I have the perfect place for you. Visit Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler in downtown Libertyville. Roland's engagement rings are gorgeous, and they're a direct diamond importer. That means wholesale prices on quality loose diamonds. Shopping for an anniversary or birthday gift but don't know what to choose? Roland's offers a large selection from designers like Hearts on Fire, Simon G., John Hardy, and Roberto Coin. Their knowledgeable and friendly staff can show you quality watches, like Tag Heuer, Michel, and Longines. Roland's Jewelers is well known for excellent customer service, including custom designs and jewelry repairs by their expert craftsmen. Let Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville make all your special occasions memorable. Visit RolandsJewelers.com or call 847-918-7300. Roland's, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
All that extra weight is messing with your health, your sleep, your social life, even your love life. Time to take control. I'm Dr. Frank Marticello, and that's exactly what I did. I always worked out, worked hard, and no matter what I did, I couldn't lose that weight. I then saw a picture of myself, and that's what did it. I had to search for a solution. I found the ideal method. I lost 80 pounds, opened Total Life Weight Loss, and that was 9 years ago, and I've kept it off. Listen to this.
I hated being on meds needed only because I was overweight. I was tired of being tired and wearing black all the time. So I turned to Total Life Weight Loss. It was truly a life changer. Total Life Weight Loss gave me support and strategies to get rid of the weight and maintain my new current weight. I love the way I look and feel.
This is a medically developed protocol that helps you lose weight fast, get healthy, and keep it off for life. Call Total Life Weight Loss now at 708-695-5999 to book your free metabolic assessment or attend one of our free educational workshops. Again, that's 708-695-5999.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. According to creditcard.com, cardholders in Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan are carrying over $33,000 of debt on their credit cards. The Federal Reserve recently increased the interest rates 1/4 point, which, according to credit enhancement expert Gary Novell, will increase the average credit card holder's interest payments $825 a year. The good news is home values have rebounded, so now is an excellent time to use your home's equity to eliminate your stress, pay off credit card debt, and lower your monthly payments. To see if you can use your home's equity to pay off your debt, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
AM560, The Answer.
So this is a story that everyone who's married thought, the ingenuity of this guy, the courage, the bravery. I'm talking about a 71-year-old man who's from Kansas City, Kansas. His name is Lawrence John Ripple, and he robbed a bank to get away from his wife. He said, quote, "I'd rather be in jail than at home with his wife."
71 years old and robs a bank?
Yeah, so he was facing up to 37 months in prison for this. He basically walked him and gave a teller a note saying, quote, "I have a gun, give me money." The teller then gave him the money, and instead of running away, he took the cash, calmly sat down in the lobby and waited for police to arrive. Now,
Didn't he also demand of the teller like some Aleve for his aching muscles or something?
When approached by the security guard, Ripple quickly gave himself up, gave the cash back, and was taken into custody. And they said, "Why did you do this?" He told investigators that he wanted to get away from his wife and, quote, that he'd rather be in jail than at home.
Sure.
So he was sentenced yesterday. Now, again, he could have spent up to 37 months in prison.
But what was he sentenced to? What's the irony here?
Oh, he was sentenced to home confinement. Oh, 3 years of probation.
Now he's really got the ball and chain.
No. Home confinement for how many months? 6 months. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have
Poor
spent
guy.
37 months in prison, but it was reduced after the public defender told the judge that Ripple suffered from depression after heart surgery, and he called the robbery a cry for help.
Yeah.
Guess how much money he robbed the bank for? By
$9.14.
$227.27.
That's not even enough to pay for one house on Boardwalk.
Oh my gosh.
Well, maybe one.
So there's this thing called divorce. I mean, that's an option too.
That costs money.
But he didn't kill her because a
And
lot
he-
of
how
people
many years-
kill their spouses.
Always looking on the sunny side of life.
I go back to those homicidal tendencies that I'd like to discuss.
So you really miss being on the crime beat.
Yeah, 6 months of home confinement.
What? Okay.
Okay.
No,
What's the craziest thing you've done to get away from your wife? Because I know a lot of road warriors, a lot of guys ride their bikes.
I don't want to get away from it.
Through Highland Park and all the North Shore suburbs on Saturdays and Sundays to get away from their wives. Or men go golfing. When 18 holes aren't enough, you got to do 36 or 72.
I don't golf to try to leave my wife.
A lot of people do Ironmen to get away from their spouses.
I golf because I love golf. That's why. As a matter of fact, I want my wife to watch golf with me on TV, and she was watching the U.S. Open on DVR with me yesterday, only looking up on occasion just to see when the blimp was going to go down.
Just enough to keep it. It bursts into flame. Wait. Get it started. It's rising terrible. Oh, my. Get out of the way, please. It's burning, bursting into flames, and it's falling on the morning bath, and all the folks between us. This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's
Amy, you're a shock jock. The guy was burned.
into the sky. It's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. The smoke and the flames now, and the flame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the passengers.
And he landed in the middle of Ricky Fowler's backswing and caused him to miss a birdie on the 15th hole.
Too soon? I'm sorry. He does have 40% burns on
but
his
60%
back.
are not. Let's look at the sunny side of life.
I'm sorry, too soon. Okay, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, more on the congressional baseball game, the winners and the losers, and the unity. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, 71 cloudy skies this morning in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Russia is looking into whether it may have killed the leader of ISIS. It says one of its airstrikes last month struck a meeting of ISIS terror leaders in Syria, including Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. U.S. military officials say they have no information so far to confirm that claim. President Trump announcing his new Cuba policy in a policy speech in Miami today. Senior White House officials say the plan will significantly restrict U.S. companies from doing business with Cuban enterprises. The annual congressional baseball game in the books. New York Democratic Congressman Hakeem Jeffries says he's glad the game brought both parties together on the same field.
Hopefully it will be a demarcation point in terms of changing the attitude that exists.
Democrats went on to beat the Republican team 11-2. Game taking place just one day after a gunman opened fire on Republican lawmakers preparing for the game in Alexandria, Virginia. Congressman Steve Scalise remains in critical condition after being shot during that practice. 2 escaped inmates wanted for killing a pair of prison guards in Georgia are in custody. Tennessee Highway Patrol spokesman Bill Miller says Donnie Rowe and Ricky DuBose were captured yesterday following a car and foot chase in Tennessee.
The pursuit lasted for approximately 10 miles, where the suspect vehicle during that time was firing numerous rounds at the Rutherford County Deputy Sheriffs.
Following a chase on I-24 near Murfreesboro, the inmates fled to a nearby home, and then the inmates were taken into custody by homeowners who held them at bay with firearms. Firefighters battling and mopping up a 3-alarm blaze on Chicago's west side near Grand and Holman that caused a roof collapse. No one is in custody after an elderly man was shot and killed on Chicago's south side. The 77-year-old gunned down near 68th and Hermitage. And a popular YouTube singer from Bloomingdale is banned from the internet while facing child pornography charges. Austin Jones was also released on home confinement during a court hearing yesterday. Sox beat the Orioles, Cubs open up a set with the Pirates, and the news a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, the rugged Bluetooth speaker with 20-hour battery life is just $29.99. That's right. Now you can have the freedom to play music wherever you please for just $29.99 while supplies last. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Trust CLR, celebrating 50 years of making quick work of tough jobs. Find them on Facebook to find out how you can win tickets to an anniversary concert with the band Chicago.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, you should give Physicians Mutual Insurance Company a call. 1-800-400-4811. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away, so you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. That's right, any dentist you want. Call and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-400-4811. That's 1-800-400-4811. 1-800-400-4811.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
7:36. And a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the west side, Grand Avenue remains closed between Homan and Kedzie after a fire. A different blaze has Lake Street blocked between Ogden and Ashland. Mount Eden's 22 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. Kennedy, 46 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 40. Inbound Eisenhower, 56 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 35 from Manheim, outbound 53 to Thorndale. Mount Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 52 minutes. Ryan is 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State delays are northbound from Cicero to 75th, from the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway's low 83 to the Tri-State, northbound Veterans Memorial. Heavy Boughton moves to the way to Roosevelt. Darby Trail to 290. Traffic service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa stores, Valvoline full synthetic motor oil is on sale for just $5.59 a quart. Take advantage now and protect your engine from the heat all summer long. General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state or local taxes or recycling fees. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Clouds and sun, couple of rain showers, maybe a thunderstorm. Warm and humid with a high of 88 today. Currently 71 and light rain showers at O'Hare and at Midway. Your next news update is at 8 with continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf sitting in for Dan this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
We got a show to do. You're talking to Keith about the Hindenburg.
Well, Keith is an aviation expert. Everything from kites to Elon Musk flying to Mars.
Yes, he is
So
the
he knows
best.
everything.
And he said that the reporter said, "Oh, the humanity."
Kurt Morrison.
After that, there was 20 seconds when he didn't report because he ran behind a shed and vomited.
Amazing that he was able to complete the process of reverse peristalsis in only 20 seconds.
Gus.
Kudos, as Michael Jordan would say to him.
Thanks so much for making us part of your morning today. Amy Jacobson here, and that voice belongs to Bruce Wolf, who's filling in for Dan Proft, because Dan, since he won the big scramble tournament yesterday at our company outing, which benefited the 100 Club of Chicago, he decided, you know what, I'm going to take the day off.
Well, Johnny Carson used to do the same thing, take off Fridays.
Take off Fridays, yeah. So
in the latter stages of his career, that's what he would do.
Yes, but we had a big baseball game last night, and it began with this.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's play ball.
A big message from our President Trump, who was on the Jumbotron, because it was a safety issue, they said, for him to be there at the game. But he addressed the injuries so that the congressman is enduring.
I want to take a moment to send our thoughts, love, and prayers to Congressman Steve Scalise and his entire family. Steve is our friend, he's a patriot, and he's a true fighter. I know you all will be playing extra hard tonight for Steve. We pray for all of the victims of this terrible crime who are still recovering, including Zachary Barth and Matt Micah, both of whom are respected and cherished by so many. We also praise Special Agents Crystal Griner and David Bailey of the Capitol Police for their heroic deeds that saved so many lives. What a great job they did. And we thank all of the members of the Alexandria Fire, Police, and Rescue.
And he went on and on for, a prepared statement, obviously, that he read to thank people. But last night, we should mention that Congressman Steve Scalise underwent a second surgery to deal with internal injuries and a broken bone in his leg. And doctors say that he'll require additional operations, and he's going to be in the hospital for some time. Now, the Democrats beat the Republicans 11-2, and they're taking that trophy to Scalia's office. So they were going to take it to this hospital room, but they're going to leave it in his office as a way of saying, thank you, that we remember you, we love you, we played this game in honor of you. Before the game began, Bruce, I'm sure you saw it, players from both teams met on second base, got on a knee, and they prayed.
It was actually like 2 minutes of praying, which, those guys, some of those congressmen are old. It's hard for me to squat.
Take a knee?
Take a knee seriously. But it was very nice. It was sweet. They were all together like that. And then the cop, the Capitol police officer,
David Bailey.
Yeah, he had crutches. He came out to the pitcher's mound and actually threw out the first pitch. He just was injured.
That was good. Yeah. We're fortified. Both sides coming together. I think it's a good idea. I don't know how long it's going to last, but let's begin there with Congressman Sean Duffy from the 7th Congressional District from the great state of Wisconsin. Good morning, Congressman. How are you?
I'm doing well, Amy. Good morning to you, and good morning to you too, Bruce. If Dan was there, we wouldn't have this great opportunity to chat. So happy Dan took the day off.
Yes. Well, Dan seems upset, and so does others about both sides coming together, toning down the rhetoric, having this kumbaya moment. How does that affect you when you see what's going on and you're actually a part of it?
Well, so first of all, talking about last night, I thought what was pretty cool is our House chaplain, a Catholic, Father Conroy, was there in the middle of all the members of Congress at second base. And as you noticed, members of Congress will wear the jersey of usually their home team, whether it is pro or college baseball. But Father Conroy had his baseball uniform on, and it said Jesuit. Very, very cute. But listen. I hope this lasts some time, but I do have some concerns. So I'm rewriting the flood insurance bill, and I was supposed to actually meet Steve Scalise the morning of this shooting. He's from Louisiana, and he obviously they have a lot of flooding, and it's an issue that he cares a lot about, and I'm the one that's leading this reauthorization. And the ranking member of our committee is Maxine Waters. And I got to tell you, I get along very well with Maxine. I would consider her a friend. I disagree with her vigorously politically, but on a personal level, she's a very nice lady. And I thought as this hearing took place the day after the shooting, the temperature would drop, and there might be moments where we could find, some common sense bipartisanship. And there were opportunities for those moments, but in our markup that went from 9 o'clock in the morning until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the rhetoric, the lack of cooperation, I would argue, still exists even after this horrific event. And I'm of the opinion that if we're going to improve on this, it's not going to be Republicans telling Democrats to settle down and to change the way they're communicating. It's got to be Democrats and liberal media elite talking to the liberal base, saying, hey, you know what? Let's fight vigorously on politics and on policy, but we can't go after people personally. They're doing the best they can. They're representing their constituents. Might be different than where you're at personally, but their constituents elected them to go fight for them.
Well, this is a losing proposition, I think, because it's not just the rhetoric from the left, it's the actions, and the actions that are condoned. Middlebury, where Charles Murray was supposed to speak, instead he's attacked. Berkeley. And what did the Democrats like Nancy Pelosi do? They condone it. This is action. And they believe that Donald Trump is evil incarnate, and so are justified in doing this. And you even went so far as the New York Times, which lives in its own little bubble, editorializing the other day and saying that
Sarah Palin was responsible for the 6 dead in Tucson.
Because, and which, of course, had been disproven only days later by the New York Times itself when they found out that this guy who shot Gabby Giffords was a paranoid schizophrenic. So this is the kind of opposition that we have. It's one thing to want to engage in civility with somebody, but if the other side doesn't really want to do it and is condoning violence, there isn't all that much you can do.
And that was my point. I know that if Republicans had this kind of event, and Gabby Giffords is different because, as you pointed out, the shooter was not politically motivated, wasn't part of a political campaign for president. He was crazy.
He never even was registered to vote.
Right. Steve Scalise was attacked by a Bernie Sanders supporter, a liberal volunteer, made his opinions about how he hates Republicans well known on social media. If the role was reversed on your radio show as leaders of the conservative movement in Chicago, Bruce and Amy and Dan would be condemning anybody who supported violence. Sean Hannity on Fox News, Brian Kilmeade, Meghan McCain, across the spectrum, leaders in media, local, national, members of Congress would condemn and step away from any kind of violent behavior like that. Democrats, liberals, are refusing to do the same thing. Where, as you said, the New York Times had an opportunity to lead the liberal movement and say, this is not who we are. Violence is not who we are. Instead of taking that opportunity, they took a swipe at Sarah Palin.
Yeah,
what the hell is that?
It's low-hanging fruit, and it's just it's promoting, their objective and their
have,
ideology.
When you have an abortion clinic attacked by some nutcase, you don't hear the right as much as, like Dan Proft, for example, believes in the right to life, and I do too. You don't see the right saying, oh, well, he was justified. You don't see that at all.
So in this case, his wife, we found out yesterday, her name's Sue. She said that she, obviously she had no idea what was happening. They were separated in March. She thought he was going to Washington to lobby for changing tax law. The irony to me seems to get lost in the fact that it was President Trump's birthday when he ambushed the congressmen and senators on that baseball diamond. Did anybody else make a connection between the two? Besides me and my crazy mind?
No, I don't think that was the intent of the shooter. I don't know that he made that connection that I'm going to make this horrific event on the day of the president's birthday. I think he was looking for the prime opportunity to take vengeance on Republicans, or I haven't heard that connection made. And I know you guys have probably said it numerous times, and we've heard it on the media, but I want to say one more. The members of Congress don't travel with any kind of security. There's only 5 people in the House and a leadership on the Republican and Democrat side that get any kind of security detail. We will oftentimes congregate as Republicans. You might have 5, 10, 20 of us together, and there is never any security that's with us. Many times at that baseball practice, Steve Scalise wasn't there, or he left early, or he came late, and so you had that same number of members of Congress at a baseball practice without Steve Scalise, which means they would have been there without any security.
Are you afraid? Are you personally afraid right now?
Are you concerned for your safety?
No, I'm not. Listen, I whenever I do public events, I call my local law enforcement if they feel it appropriate to show up. They do. But I will tell you this. First of all, we all have said it would have been disastrous, and especially had this shooter been a better shot. But we don't do enough to think through gathering spaces of members of Congress that are soft targets, whether it's for a crazy liberal like this shooter, or if it's ISIS or some other radically inspired individual. There are a lot of soft targets in Washington. But I look at members of Congress's offices and their homes. They are soft targets that we've known for a long time, that we need our leadership in the House to come together and say we're going to change the rules around how members of Congress protect themselves. They don't need security details, but they should have security equipment at their offices and at their houses. So if someone comes calling, they just can't barge in and do. I don't even want to say it. I don't want to give anyone any ideas. I'll do that.
But still. Is your wife concerned for your safety, especially after this attack or ambush style attack?
My wife is a Fox News contributor. She wrote an article for FoxNews.com expressing outrage and concern because I think this is, any wife, any spouse, and that's maybe more the wives, dread getting a phone call like Jennifer Scalise got on a couple mornings ago. Yeah, they see the threatening letters that I get and the emails. They see what happens at town halls, and they get concerned for our safety. And after this happened, they obviously we all love each other. They're honored as part of a family that gets to serve in Congress and fight for ideals and beliefs. And there's big issues, as you guys talk about every morning, that we're fighting through. But they are deathly concerned that radicals will move from language to actual violent acts and do us harm like happened a couple mornings ago.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're safe, and thank you so much for all that you do, and thanks again for coming on the show. And you have been on here when Dan Proft has been on the program, so.
Was he trying to?
Dan Proft is the program.
Was the congressman trying to say that Dan Proft filibusters?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was saying you were so delightful this morning, Bruce. It was great talking to you too, and Amy, you as well. And thank you guys for being leaders of the movement and being so common sense around ideas and making sure that when Republicans get hot and hostile and out of control, that you're there to put them back in their place and make sure this is about policy and not about violence. And thank you for that.
Thank you, and early Happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much. I have 8 kids. I can't wait. It's always fun in my house.
8 kids. Can you imagine?
Oh, my, you're like Dick Van Patten. eight kids.
Thank you so much. Yes, Congressman Sean Duffy, 7th Congressional District
Mazel
in Wisconsin, father of 17,000 children.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Hey, Amy, how did you sleep last night?
Well, I didn't sleep well. I'm still wearing my golf uniform from yesterday because I didn't have my pillow. And I can't sleep without my pillow. It's true.
Oh, well, if you haven't bought a MyPillow yet, why not? Maybe you've seen them in a store, but the radio deal using the name Amy as the promo code is a much better deal. It's the best deal available. In June, you'll receive the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for 50% off. You can move the fill to give you the exact support you need regardless of sleep position. You'll sleep deep and won't wake up to a stiff neck or headache. Our friend Mike Lindell manufactures them in America using American labor. You can wash and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, and you'll get the 10-year warranty and 60-day money-back guarantee. In June, get the 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201 and use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy. Just do it.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. The intellectual descendants of Diogenes can continue looking for the elusive honest man in D.C. Jim Comey ain't him. Instead, it's the likes of Jim Comey who've led Americans to lose faith in the federal government's police power. And it's the likes of Jim Comey who've led Americans to legitimately conclude that the rule of law has been supplanted by the rule of men. Even Comey's concessions as to his repeated cowardice was of the calculating, I'm no hero, humble brag variety. Comey is a careerist D.C. political character with no character. Comey is the scheming Lothario from a tawdry daytime soap who, instead of sexual conquest, seeks to seduce others for their esteem. His situational ethics leave him awash in contradiction, but who notices or much cares in a town ripped from the pages of a Gore Vidal novel? Despite his prevarications or moral pliability, or perhaps because of them, Comey can now take the meeting notes from his Hello Kitty dream diary that he did not disclose and cash them in for a 7-figure book deal to finance more romantic weekend getaways with the missus. Another happily ever after Beltway fairy tale. Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
For the last decade, it's been called the greatest libertarian show on earth. This year will be no different. Attended by the most brilliant conservative minds today. Join us for Freedom Fest, July 19th through the 22nd at the Planet Hollywood in Las Vegas. This year, come hear the likes of Greg Gutfeld from Fox News, actor William Shatner, and SRN's very own Larry Elder and Michael Medved. Register now at freedomfest.com and save $100 by using the code REASON100 at freedomfest.com.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
When a local manufacturer suffered an employee accident at their factory, McPherson Public Affairs Group was called in to handle crisis communications with the media, the general public, and the manufacturer's employees. When a local unit of government needed assistance in pushing a significant regional highway issue forward, McPherson Public Affairs Group was called in to manage the public, media, and legislative outreach campaign. When national trade associations and corporations need public outreach and communications campaigns in Illinois and throughout the Midwest, they count on McPherson Public Affairs Group to get the job done. McPherson Public Affairs Group is a full-service public affairs and public relations firm based in LaGrange, Illinois. They'll work with you to create a strategy and see it through. Contact them for a free consultation when you face public relations challenges or need media and spokesperson training for your executive team. 312-882-2473 or on the web at mcphersonpublicaffairs.com.
Let's face it, most people don't look forward to taking their car in for repairs, but regular maintenance is crucial to preserving the investment you've made in your car. At Midwest Performance Cars, we take the pain out of maintaining your European vehicle by performing a thorough 40-point digital inspection complete with pictures. We will send your car's report and our written estimate out to you by email, text message, or phone, so you can be confident in our recommendations and can see for yourself what your car needs. We repair, road test, and wash your vehicle in preparation for pickup, then take the time to explain exactly what work was performed. We'll even remind you when your next service is due. Leave the responsibility for your vehicle maintenance up to us. At Midwest Performance Cars, we're looking out for the health of your Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, or other European nameplate. In Chicago at 1385 West Lake Street, book your appointment online at MidwestPerformanceCars.com or call us at 312-432-9492. And coming this summer, we will be opening our second MPC location in Northbrook, Illinois.
AM 560, The Answer.
Love it. Bruce Wolf just asked me if I really play golf. Yeah, they used 9 of my drives yesterday in the scramble. Okay,
Wow.
women play golf.
Well, I know, but I just didn't. You didn't look like the
I don't look
quintessential
like a
golfer.
golfer?
You don't look like Lydia Ko to me.
All right.
That's all.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Fox News, they changed their fair and balanced slogan. We'll tell you why. But now, here's Mike Scott.
Bruce and Amy, here are the stories we're following, including an elderly man killed in a Chicago shooting. WIND Chicago News Time, 8.
Be careful what you believe. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is from the Deputy Attorney General who hired the special counsel in the Russia investigation. Rod Rosenstein issued a statement last night saying Americans should exercise caution before believing stories with anonymous sources. Now, there's another one out about the president's son-in-law. Fox's John Decker's live at the White House.
Special counsel Robert Mueller is reportedly investigating the business and financial dealings of the president's son-in-law and top aide Jared Kushner. According to the Washington Post, the probe is part of the special counsel's investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election. President Trump reacting to the news on Twitter, writing, "After 7 months of investigations and committee hearings about my quote-unquote collusion with the Russians, nobody has been able to show any proof. Sad. Meanwhile, Vice President Pence's office has confirmed he has hired a private lawyer to deal with the investigation. Dave?
John, the president will go to Miami later today to undo some of the President Obama changes to U.S.-Cuba policy, restricting some American travel and where U.S. money can be spent, no longer going to the regime.
That helped the military, the security, and the intelligence entities there benefit from U.S.-derived funds. That has to stop, and that will stop.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway. Congressman Steve Scalise has been improving, but doctors say he remains critical. Republicans and Democrats prayed for him at second base in last night's charity baseball game, a position Scalise was at when shot at practice Wednesday. The dead shooter's wife says she has no answers.
I'm sorry that he did this, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Sue Hodgkinson says they were separated. The U.S. is skeptical of what you're about to hear, unable to confirm.
Russia's defense ministry saying its troops killed this man. ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, dead in an airstrike on the outskirts of ISIS capital Raqqa.
That's Fox's Alistair Wanklin. The Russians say that hundreds of other ISIS fighters were killed as well. Fox News, fair and balanced.
71 degrees, mostly cloudy skies at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Fox is following, and we will update as breaking news warrants. There's a man armed with a knife that is running towards the British Parliament and has just moments ago been taken into custody. Recall a similar situation happened a few months ago. Police killed that suspect in the situation. We're following that again this morning in London. Firefighters are battling a 3-alarm blaze on Chicago's west side. Began early this morning inside a vacant building near Grand and Holman. The roof collapsed, one minor injury on the street. No one in custody after an elderly man was shot and killed on Chicago's south side. The 77-year-old was hit by gunfire near 68th and Hermitage. Investigators tell us the gunman was aiming at another man sitting on a nearby curb. The Rauner administration is threatening to bring roadwork projects to a halt if Democrats in the majority in Springfield don't approve a budget by the end of the month. IDOT says it's notifying contractors that construction work across the state will be shut down June 30th if there is no budget deal. The FBI joining the search for a missing University of Illinois scholar. Investigators yesterday saying the FBI has put up billboards across the state looking for Ying Zhang. Police say she's been missing for a week. Was last seen getting into a black Saturn vehicle on U of I's campus. The FBI labels this morning that case a kidnapping. White Sox beat the Orioles 5-2. Cubs opening up a set with the Pirates. The news, a service of Dove Men Plus Care. Did you hear that 91% of guys that use Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant recommend it? Dove Men Plus Care users say they don't know how it works, but it does get the job done. Pick some new Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant for yourself at your local retailer. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Hyatt is threatening to pull its hotels from Expedia. Hotels Magazine says online travel agents have been charging stiff fees to book hotel chains. Now Hyatt is threatening to exit Expedia on July 31st if the travel company doesn't cut its high commissions. Hotel companies pay fees at 15 to 20% on a room rate to online travel sites. Chipmaker Advanced Micro Devices will be an important supplier for the government. AMD says it has been selected by the Department of Energy's supercomputing 3-year project. Dow Chemical and DuPont will be allowed to merge after selling some of their units to receive approval from the Justice Department. The combined business will produce insecticides, weed killers, and crop seeds. The Dow closed down 14 yesterday. NASDAQ dropped 29. S&P lost 5. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 in Chicago, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder sees Democrats using members of Congress.
Al Green, another member of Congress who happens to be black, is, along with Maxine Waters, probably the two biggest voices on the Hill for impeachment.
I mean, they know these two people are hysterics.
They know that if Maxine Waters were a white Republican, people would call her unhinged. Those two people will have safe seats and they'll be reelected. So we'll just put them out there, have them yell and scream about impeachment. Can you say being used?
The Larry Elder Show. Now on weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Kyle is a dog trainer.
Okay, Sid. Good boy.
In his personal time, Kyle's a personal trainer.
1, 2, good.
Kyle knows how to get results, but when it comes to mortgages, he's less confident.
Guilty as charged.
Fortunately, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so he can understand the details and know he's getting the right mortgage. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Go to rocketmortgage.com today.
Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
When you're hiring for a growing business, you don't need lots of candidates. You need the right candidates. You need Indeed.com. With an algorithm that positions your job post where quality candidates are and screener questions that help you zero in on the best talent. Indeed.com, the site proven through an independent study to deliver 5 times more hires than any other. New users claim your $50 credit for a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
8:06. And a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the west side, Lake Street is closed between Ogden and Ashland due to a fire, and Grand Avenue remains blocked between Hoban and Kedzie due to an earlier blaze, and Augusta is also closed between Hoban and Kedzie. The 8-ins inbound is just 20 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. The Kennedy can get 50 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 26 from Montrose, 21 on the Express. Outbound 18 minutes to Montrose, 36 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, 55 minutes Thorndale to downtown, 37 from Manheim. Outbound 59 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 52 minutes. The Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive delays are southbound. Irving Park to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound Tri-State heavy. Cicero to 75th. From the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway stop and go 83 to the Tri-State Veterans Memorial. So I-55 to the Mountain Toll with a crash on the left side. And in pockets from 63rd to Roosevelt and Army Trail to 290. Northwest Indiana's good. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, clouds and sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 88. A shower or a thunderstorm around tonight, low 69. Some sun tomorrow with a shower or a thunderstorm around, warm and humid with a high of 86. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, showers and thunderstorms in the area, 71 at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf in for Dan this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Work it out. Good morning. Good Friday morning. Amy Jacobson here. Dan Proft is off after a spectacular performance yesterday at our company scramble in Bolingbrook.
I did not know that.
So thank you for coming in, Bruce Wolf. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure is mine.
Last night, big news out of Washington was that the congressional baseball game was played. Sans, of course, Congressman Steve Scalise, excuse me. I always want to say Scalia. I know,
sure.
but Congressman Scalise, and they had a touching moment where everybody met at second base before the game began to say a prayer and to be thankful that no one passed away from this horrific ambush that took place earlier in the week. And I turned on Fox News, and there he was, the one and only Ed Henry, broadcasting live from there. Peter Ducey was also at the ballpark, and he did a fantastic job. And with that, we'd like to welcome to the show Ed Henry, Chief National Correspondent for Fox News Channel and the author of the book 42 Faith about Jackie Robinson. Good morning, Mr. Henry. How are you?
Good morning. Good to talk to Amy and Bruce. How are you?
Good. So what did you take away from yesterday's game? I know the whole theme was unity and peace in politics, and that grosses out a majority of our listeners. I personally love it, and I hope it lasts forever. What do you think?
Well, I'm laughing because you're right. I think there's skepticism out there. It's a serious moment, obviously, because Steve Scalise was wounded very badly. I mean, I think the initial reports were hit in the hip, so it wasn't in the chest or the head, and so he's going to be just fine. He's now had 3 operations, and from what we've been hearing from lawmakers who have visited the Republican whip in the hospital, it's very touch and go. His injuries were quite extensive, internal bleeding, bones ripped up. So look, I think it was wonderful that people are coming together, that they're using this as a moment of unity. But when you say that your listeners kind of might roll their eyes about that, frankly, I don't blame them, because I've been covering politics in Washington for a long time, first on the Hill and then the White House, filling in for Tucker Carlson last night. I've seen this play out before. You know, something horrific happens. Democrats and Republicans say, gosh darn it, we're going to work together. You know, they had a wonderful moment last night where they all said a prayer together. They knelt in prayer for a moment or two out at second base, which was the position, obviously, that Steve Scalise was playing when he was shot. Look, I'm not going to, laugh that off. That's wonderful. It was terrific that they came together. But I feel like in a few days we're going to hear the same old rhetoric that we've been hearing for a long time. And when I hear Democratic leaders like Chuck Schumer coming out and saying we should come together, Chuck Schumer hasn't done anything to help this president, one iota, from day one of the administration. I think it's a fair question to see what has President Trump done to reach out to Democrats. I think both sides, there's plenty of blame to go around. But I'm just very skeptical that this goodwill is going to last very long.
Ed, so last night I'm tuning into Fox for my daily dose of the sweet smarminess of Tucker Carlson, and I love him, but and then I see you there. No, and it was great. You've written this book 42 Faith about Jackie Robinson, and so it must be especially resonant to you because the whole thing. I mean, it's horrible about Scalise. When I kept seeing these reports, and Peter Doocy and others were giving reports talking about the gunman being on the third base side. And to me...
Well, he was shooting over the third base dugout.
No, I get it. What I'm saying is that the juxtaposition of third base side and gunmen and bullets, it's like it tears you apart because, it's baseball. We just got through in Chicago with, the Cubs winning the World Series for the first time in 108 years. And it's, all this wonderful sentiment. And to have baseball sullied that way, the national pastime, it's like... our whole fabric is being ripped apart by that, and it must be resonant with you. You wrote this book about Jackie Robinson.
When I first came out with the book 42 Faith, a lot of people, when I did interviews like this, were like, wait, you cover politics. What in the world are you writing about baseball? Well, first of all, I want to write about something I'm passionate about, and I love baseball. My dad, with Father's Day coming up, baseball is a game that fathers pass on to sons. We still go to games together. But also, faith in God and baseball really helped Jackie Robinson and Branch Rickey, a black man and a white man, come together at a time in this country when people were not coming together, across the races. And so I do think you're absolutely right that baseball is one of those things, is the national pastime, that brings people together. It's awful and sick that this man decided to choose a baseball field, to basically try to assassinate not just Steve Scalise, but more than a dozen, maybe 24 Republican members of Congress. I mean, remember, this man was in the parking lot, asked one of the lawmakers as they were leaving early to get to work, are those Democrats or Republicans? He said Republicans. Oh, okay. And then goes down and starts shooting.
Yeah, and then the fact that he was living in his van there for a few months, just scoping, casing the joint out, is so bothersome. And his wife yesterday came forward and thought that he was going to Washington to, lobby for tax reform.
Yeah, well, the Washington Post posted a story, I think, yesterday, and I see a lot of social media reaction to it saying, this was not an attack on lawmakers. This was an attack on all of us. No. Well, we could take it that way, I guess. But on the other hand, this was a gunman who was targeting Republicans specifically. He was posting things on Facebook about how he loved Bernie Sanders and how he really nasty anti-Trump stuff. So I think there are a lot of people in the mainstream media who want to kind of gloss over that. I'm not saying that people on the left inspired this. I think it was sick that after the Democratic Congresswoman Gabby Giffords was shot in 2011, you remember the New York Times, in fact, just did an editorial a day or so ago and had to correct it because they revived this false narrative that it was Sarah Palin that inspired the shooter in 2011. Let's just stop blaming everyone. And as you said at the top of the broadcast, let's figure out a way to come together where we can.
Okay, but as you just said just now, they're going to come together for about 2 seconds. And one of the reasons, Ed, is because this is not limited to the rhetoric of the left. This is in part due to their actions. Middlebury with Charles Murray, Berkeley, And the leaders of the Democratic Party condone this. They take a benign view at best about a lot of this violence, and where's the outrage? It doesn't really exist.
Look what happened when just Ann Coulter was going to speak at Berkeley, and they basically had to stop it because it was going to their threats of violence. The idea that conservatives can't even speak on campus. It's not that you have to support their views or you have to go lockstep with Donald Trump. But on campuses in America right now, many of them, not all, but many of them, they won't even let conservatives speak. They're drowned out. And then, as you say, at Berkeley, there's actually violence. Where was Nancy Pelosi? Where was Chuck Schumer? Did you see a press release? Because I didn't, denouncing the violence. And I just think enough is enough, and it's time that leaders speak up. In fact, a few moments ago, I was watching the CBS This Morning program, and they had Elizabeth Warren on from the left. And Charlie Rose was asking her, what do you think about all this? And she said, well, it's time to come together. Okay. And as you say, that can be empty rhetoric. So, unity. And so Charlie Rose asked a great question. He said, well, what are you specifically going to do to bring people together? She started talking about the middle class and this and that. Okay, fine. Middle class is great. But what specifically will you do? Look at Elizabeth Warren's record. Name one time that she's come to work across the aisle with Republicans. Instead, she's just rhetorically going after Donald Trump every single day.
Oh no! One time out of every 32 times, Elizabeth Warren crosses.
Well,
oh no, that's how much she's an American
when
Indian.
President Trump and Melania visited, Steve Scalise in the hospital, Anderson Cooper was watching him, and he said that they got into the hospital, but they never saw him. And that's just, even when he's trying to do the right thing and be not only a decent president but a decent man, and they still attack him. Because he was there. Right. He did spend 30 minutes at his bedside talking to Scalise's wife and being there. And they lied about that.
Probably medicated. So, Steve Scalise couldn't interact.
No.
Outdoor, not
but they were with his wife.
And you're right. It's sort of like these kind of details that don't really matter at the end of the day. President, you're right. The point is the President of the United States on his birthday says to his family, let's go over to the hospital. Let's go boost the spirits of Steve Scalise's wife who had to fly in from Louisiana. They have two very small children. And I was told by a Republican lawmaker that the kids were coming in with mom to cheer Dad on at the baseball game. Because as you said, he plays second base. Instead, these very small children had to be told, Daddy's not going to play in the game. And yet people are attacking somehow. Well, why? Donald Trump didn't actually see him. This is just trivia. It's nonsense. And this is, people don't want to focus on the big issues of the day, and they don't want to come.
But sometimes President Trump is his own worst enemy. Because of the tweets that he was tweeting out yesterday.
I heard that Trump took.
You're right.
I heard that Trump took in the next room over. He took the ice cream dessert from a patient at. Two scoops.
Right?
He wanted 2 scoops.
He took 2 scoops ice cream.
So, Ed Henry, quickly before we let you get on with your busy day, I wanted to ask you about Trump's tweet. I mean, after the news came out full blown yesterday about obstruction of justice investigation that he's now, that's now the focus, that he's being investigated by the special prosecutor. He starts tweeting out about something, why is it Hillary Clinton's family and Dems dealing with Russia are not looked at, but my non-dealings are? And then went on to talk about, the phones that were destroyed by hammers and bleached emails. What's going on there?
Here's what I think. I want to make a separation because I just keep hearing people, you mentioned Anderson Cooper, various people, almost every night there's a segment that they do that says, why is the president tweeting? National crisis. I want to separate out. The president is perfectly entitled to tweet. He's perfectly entitled to use social media. I use it. You may use it. Your program. That's all fine. But I think you're pointing to something more important, which we should focus on, the substance of the tweets. Should the president of the United States keep going backwards and saying, what about Hillary Clinton? That's in the rearview mirror, Mr. President. I don't want to let him off the hook. I was just calling out Elizabeth Warren and others on the left. I'm a fair and balanced reporter. Mr. President, you have to also turn the page. Because, frankly, when you have liberal legal scholars like Alan Dershowitz saying there's really not an obstruction of justice case here for firing James Comey, I think Donald Trump, there's not really obstruction of justice here over the firing. What might be getting him in trouble is the phone calls to other people to try to push the envelope, the tweets that are saying, well, it's all about Russia. My point being, he's digging a deeper hole, and I kind of think he may be able to get the whole Russia thing behind him if he stops talking about it, if he stops tweeting about it.
Ed, we have to interrupt because we have to go, but I got to tell you, you're not a fair and balanced reporter anymore. Fox just jettisoned that that moniker.
Yeah, well, I know about the slogan. I hear you, but I'm going to.
Oh no, Ed, you got to go with the program here. I can't stand when you stay with the old thing. You're not fair and balanced anymore. You understand?
Okay.
All right, Ed.
Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend.
You too, and happy Father's Day early. Ed Henry, Chief
Thanks, I appreciate it.
National Correspondent for Fox News Channel and author of the book 42 Faith, the story about Jackie Robinson. It would make a great Father's Day gift, and Ed Henry joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560, The Answer.
So it's not fake news. Why are they dropping Fair and Balanced from Fox News? We'll explain, and we'll tell you what's going to replace it. But first, here's your forecast.
Fair, balanced, and unafraid, as Britt Hume would say. Today, clouds and sun with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, warm, high of 88. Tonight, rather cloudy, warm and humid with a shower or thunderstorms around, low of 69. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a thunderstorm. Storms can bring hail and damaging winds, high of 86. Low tomorrow night, 67. And on Father's Day, breezy with sunny intervals, a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon, high of 83. Low Sunday night, 60. Now it's time for a check of traffic. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Bruce. Good morning. Good morning, Amy. Eden's inbound. 20 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. Eastbound Spur, a little heavy past Waukegan Road. The Kennedy, travel time, O'Hare to downtown, 50 minutes, 26 from Montrose, 21 on the Express, outbound 36 to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower, 55 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, 37 from Manheim. Outbound 39 to Manheim, 59 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 45 minutes. The Ryan is 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy Montrose to North Avenue, and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound, it's fine. Northbound Tri-State. Slow 115th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway stop and go 83 to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial from I-55 to the Boughton Toll, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290 in Northwest Indiana. Slow now on the eastbound 8094, Central Avenue to Ripley. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Gatto Industrial Platers, Inc. is the specialist in zinc and zinc nickel plating. Gatto is big, they're good, and they're easy to work with. Their high production rack plating line has up to a 15-foot capacity to handle any zinc plating requirement. Gatto's 210,000 square foot facility can process 300 tons per day and offers complete custom packaging with available pickup and delivery in the Chicago metro area by Gatto's own fleet of trucks. All of Gatto's products are inspected and certified to ensure that each customer is receiving the best and most cost-effective plating protection. Gatto is home to King Kong, the largest zinc plating line in North America that can zinc plate parts up to 27 feet long and weighing up to 8,000 pounds. For a quote and fast 24 to 48-hour service, call George Gatto Jr. or George Gatto Sr. at 1-800-290-1223. That's 1-800-290-1223. 1-800-290-1223.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore, the chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch. It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Do you know your bank's fraud tolerance? I'm Ann Dollagall, Treasury Management Executive. At Signature Bank, we have zero tolerance. While some of the big banks may write off smaller incidences of fraud, we use a multi-layered approach to fight fraud before it happens to our customers. There's been a record number of businesses hit with payments fraud this year. Keeping your business assets safe is our top priority. We are trained, and we will train you to recognize potential wire fraud threats and business email compromise scams. Call us today to find out how Signature Bank can work with your business to fight fraud.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy comes your way now. And make sure to join me, Larry Elder, tonight at 7. Only on AM 560, The Answer.
All right.
I don't mind you coming here and wasting all my time. Cause when you're standing oh so near, I kinda lose my mind, yeah.
It's not the put from that you wear.
It's not the ribbons in your hair.
Oh, I went high.
I don't mind you coming here and wasting all my time. I guess you're just what I needed.
Just what I needed.
I needed someone over here. I guess you're just what I needed.
Okay,
I needed someone over here.
So free man. Okay, wow.
The Cars here on WIND. Howard Miller is next.
So we were just talking to Ed Henry about Fox News and their slogan, fair and balanced. Well, it's been dropped because it's associated with Roger Ailes, who invented it when he launched the network 20-some years ago. So now they're going to go with most watched, most trusted. But the only reason why we are doing this story is to play the best blooper in the history of the world. This is Bill Vidka on Fox Radio.
Fox News Radio, I'm Bill Vidka. I'm Bill Vidka, and just a second, I apologize for this, but I'm just a little... I really apologize for this, as a matter of fact. There actually is a newscast here, but let's go to matters of cultural diplomacy have occupied President Bush in his final hours in Dubai.
The guy was ready to read his Social Security number on the air, just to have something.
So this is, after that, he was flummoxed there. This is how he ended the newscast.
Up more than 5% in early trading. Fox News, you decide, we choose.
And it's really we report, you decide.
You decide, we choose.
Roger Ailes, I believe it was fair, balanced, and those are awfully nice gams you have.
Stop it. But I don't know, when I worked at WLS with Jim Johnson, he'd say, listen, my only advice for you, and you have to have this every newscast, you need to print out top 10 stories on the AP just in case everything goes to hell in a handbag, you need to have something there. And clearly, Bill Vitka didn't have anything
Right
there.
here.
Oh, see?
You always have your information printed out.
Mike, what's the biggest mistake you ever made?
He doesn't make mistakes.
You know what? I would love to tell you. I was on the air with Steve Cochran on the old FM 100, and I was working overnights with Thayer and Van Horn. Tom
57 and 78, yeah. Okay.
Yes, on our friends on the Loop, and I came off a complete overnight with them, which was absolute mayhem, by the way, and was doing news for them, and I came in to fill in for the Morning Drive news guy on FM 100, and I kept calling it the Loop all morning long.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Wow.
Very early, like 1995.
You're such a bad
like
boy.
That's the biggest mistake you ever made.
Yeah, it was awful.
What, do you also mismatch, like, your shoes and socks once, too?
No, he's got Garanimals. He's fine. No,
Garanimals.
I'm kidding, Mike.
Yeah, I wear blouses, too.
That's right.
No,
nice
I do not.
Shirts.
Did I tell you nice outfit today?
No,
Yeah,
don't tell me nice
wear
outfit.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from Mike Scott.
I'm going to HR after this.
Oh, please.
Filing a complaint.
They're already in the room.
I do not wear
May
blouses.
I say that you are fair, balanced, and you have very nice legs.
And unafraid. Thank you.
Well, coming up next, before we get to Mike's newscast, Jay Sekulo's brother Jordan will be here. That's exciting. And later, what
They're
you're
like the
doing...
Russian David Limbaugh
Yes.
of
Yes, they are.
legal stuff.
And later, how we're going to celebrate Father's Day to my two favorite fathers. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
73, rain and thunderstorms have crossed the area this morning. Winds are west at 10 in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. A man armed with a knife near the British Parliament is in custody. The knife-wielding man ran toward the gates of Parliament today, was arrested. A similar situation, you may recall, happened a few months ago. That suspect was killed. Authorities in London are saying the death toll from Wednesday's high-rise fire is now up to 30. Metropolitan Police say the victims include one person who died at a nearby hospital. The death toll is expected to rise. As many as 600 lived in the tower, and authorities do not know how many were in the building when the fire started and consumed 24 floors. A Trump administration official says the Pentagon will now send almost 4,000 additional American forces to Afghanistan, hoping to break a stalemate in the war that has now passed into a third U.S. commander-in-chief. Firefighters mopping up after a West Side blaze in Chicago. It began early this morning in a large vacant building near Grand and Homan. No one is in custody after an elderly man was shot and killed on Chicago's South Side. The 77-year-old was gunned down yesterday in a drive-by near 68th and Hermitage. The Rauner administration threatening to bring roadwork projects to a halt if lawmakers do not approve a budget by the end of the month. IDOT says it's notifying contractors that construction work across the state will be shut down June 30th if there is no budget deal. And a suburban Sugar Grove man will be spending decades behind bars for sexually assaulting a foster child 13 years ago. Noel Buhay was sentenced yesterday to 45 years in prison in Kane County Court. Prosecutors say he performed sex acts on that 10-year-old boy. Back in 2004, the child was placed into foster care with Buhay and his wife by the Illinois DCFS. Sox beat the Orioles 5-2. Cubs and Pirates getting set for action this weekend. And the Blackhawks add two new assistant coaches, including Don Granato, spent many years as a coach at the University of Wisconsin. Granato joins returning assistants Kevin Dineen and goaltending coach Jimmy Waite back with the Blackhawks. The news, a service of Dove Men Plus Care. Did you hear that 91% of guys that use Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant recommend it? Dove Men Plus Care users say it has some kind of clever formula in there designed to look after the pits. I guess that makes Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant the smart choice. Pick up some at your local retailer today. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is fed up with the Trump bashers.
When I listen to people, colleagues of mine, he shouldn't tweet. You don't think he knows what he's doing? Well, but that's not protocol. He's not protocol. He's the proverbial bull in a china closet. It's who he is. My Gosh, I'm so fed up with these haters. And the haters come in all political stripes.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at galaxyhome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Why choose Taboda and Associates to handle your retirement? Well, because we provide objective advice and concierge service, investments, insurance, retirement planning, all at one location. We also partner with qualified attorneys and CPAs to provide complete financial strategies for our clients. We use a variety of investment and insurance products to custom design retirement plans that can give clients a clear look at their future. We help you stay on the path toward financial independence. If you don't want to do it yourself and you want to work with a team to create a financial strategy for your future, give us a call. 630-777-7955. That's 630-777-7955. Would you rather get retirement advice from some TV show host who doesn't know anything about you, or Taboda and Associates? 630-777-7955. Taboda and Associates is a registered investment advisory firm. Jack Taboda is an investment advisor representative and insurance professional. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
8:36. To a man who's only made one mistake in his life, and that was doing the electric slide instead of the hustle at his wedding. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Telemonte.
I didn't even try either, Mike. I do know better than that, though I've made my share of errors. Currently, things look great on the inbound Edens. 19 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. The Kennedy inbound delays start at Foster. Things have improved a bit, though. Right now, it's 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 31 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound 13 minutes to Montrose, 30 to the airport. The Eisenhower, 54 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 59. The Stevenson is an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 45 minutes. The Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State heavy Archer to 31st. It's getting better, though, and slow from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway heavy approaching the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial slows 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. The Army Trail toll to 290. In Northwest Indiana, the only delay right now is on eastbound 8094 from Central to Ripley. It's mainly due to road work. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Clouds and sun throughout the day. We'll have scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm possible across the area and in northwest Indiana. High of 88. Warm and humid overnight. Possible shower and thunderstorm around, low 69. Partly sunny tomorrow with thunderstorms. Thunderstorms coming late in the day, maybe into the evening. High 86. Currently 73. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf sitting in for Dan on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues right now. And make sure to join me, Sean Hannity, this afternoon starting at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Got a great text message here from Derek from Wisconsin. It says, my 10 and 7-year-olds thought I was nuts for singing along with Bruce and Amy from the Cars music intro. Huh?
What's so nutty about that?
I guess you're just what I needed. Bruce Wolf filling in for Dan Proft today. Dan Proft killing it yesterday on the course. His foursome, which I was supposed to be with, I'm not bitter, shot 15 under. We were 3 under, so that wasn't too bad. But we didn't cheat one stroke with my group. And I started with 5, ended up with 3. So we were 3 under. It was not bad. And I want to thank the mayor of Tinley Park, Jacob Vanderberg, and Liz Gorman, former Cook County Commissioner. I golfed with her, and a guy named John, who's got a girlfriend named Paige, who apparently loves the show. But John was a music man who brought music to the course that made my
You're not
head
supposed
spin.
to have music on the course.
No, you're supposed to be one with nature. You're supposed to relax, not get
the only
pumped up
sounds
to go to
you
the
hear
tee box.
are the fake bird noises that CBS used to have on the Masters.
I know, but yesterday there were birds because Bolingbrook Golf Club is gorgeous. I mean, there's a few homes, lined around the course, but it's pretty. It's just a tranquil area. It's relaxing. Am I making you relax, Bruce?
Totally. I feel like I'm on the old FM 100, the warmth and tenderness of the world's most beautiful music.
But we raised almost $20,000 for the 100 Club of Chicago. Joe Ahern is the president of that group, and he was there to, take the check. He was there all day with us. So we want to thank everyone who participated. And if you didn't play, come out next year, please, and support the great charity that's the 100 Club of Chicago. So some big news today was all, obstruction of justice charges. Now there's leaked information from the Washington Post, 5 sources that says that the special prosecutor assigned to the case is seeking out obstruction of justice charges against President Trump. Is this real news? Is this fake news? Let's go now to Jordan Seculo, who is brothers with, say it.
Jay.
Yes, who can be heard when?
On WIND.
From
AM 560, The Answer.
From 9 to 10 p.m. every night, right here on this very station. Good morning, Mr. Seculo. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me.
So what do you think about the Washington Post leaking of this information? Don't know if it's true or false. And then last night you have the Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein, who came forward and released a statement about the anonymous allegations, saying that they might not even be coming from this country.
Yeah, and then you had the Washington Post come back out today and say, no, these were American sources, American government sources. I think that his statement is something that had to come out at some point from the Department of Justice, because even though they don't like acknowledging investigations, you're not really supposed to do that, because ultimately that's to protect all of us. One of us, any of us, could be investigated for something. If there's no illegality found, they're not supposed to be hurting our character and kind of our life moving forward by announcing that we're under investigation if, in fact, they don't bring any kind of charges or they find nothing there. I mean, it's not it's a very early step in the process, if it's even true. So he's come out to say, don't even, believe these sources. Of course, then this gets the media, who relies a lot on anonymous sources, kind of up in arms. And then just moments ago, President Trump, who's tweeting up a storm this morning, just tweeted, I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director. Witch hunt. Now, this is kind of being interpreted. Everybody's trying to figure out. He obviously could be referring to Rosenstein directly, who wrote the memo about why Jim Comey was no longer fit to serve as FBI director, which, by the way, does anyone believe Hillary Clinton was going to keep him as FBI director either? No.
No.
But is he referring to Rosenstein or Mueller? And the reason why I bring up Mueller is because there are reports that Mueller was interviewed to come back to the FBI potentially as FBI director. So again, I think that the leaking about the president, the leaking about his son-in-law, the expansion, and just to be clear to all of your listeners, if the president were to be, if he is under investigation, his tweet kind of confirms that, by the way. But if that is happening, the special counsel can't bring charges against him. He's the president of the United States. I mean, that's clear. Everyone knows that. The only thing that could happen is that Congress takes this info and then tries to start, an impeachment process. But the role of the special counsel is to bring criminal charges against individuals, not generically report on things that they can't take action on. And so that, I think, is what is frustrating to those of us looking at this, I think, who agree with the president. It's been 7+ months of investigation. There's been no there. We do know that Russia is a problem. Okay, that's fine. But a lot of people get confused, though, guys. They think the special counsel is going to issue this big report on what Russia is doing, and that's not their job. Their job is just to bring criminal charges, not to give us a report or an analysis on how Russia was trying to be involved in our election and what they can do about it. That is not their role.
Well, one of the problems is that the Deputy Attorney General, forget about the layman, the Deputy Attorney General, according to Andy McCarthy, explained this in National Review, and I'm sure you would concur with this, is that Rosenstein goofed on this because he didn't circumscribe the authority of the special counsel. This is not, this is not a counterintelligence probe by Mueller. It's supposed to be a criminal investigation, and it's supposed to be narrow. And then, of course, you talk about the so-called no there and the obstruction of justice. You have the New York Times coming out with a story which basically says if there was collusion, they would launder money. Well, yeah, that's what you do when there's collusion, but they don't have any predicate for it. There is no collusion that they've been able to show. So this is much ado about. I mean, this is Scooter Libby times
much
50.
Worse. This is trying to undermine the President of the United States directly. And I would tell you, the whole reason they're coming up with that narrative about the money laundering is because I think we've all been fairly clear now in the news that even if you could prove that, and certainly this could have political ramifications, but not legal ramifications, even if you could prove this horrendous-sounding claim that there was coordination between Russia and campaign officials, not U.S. government officials at the time, but campaign officials. If there was no exchange of money, resources, that kind of illegal activity, then there would be no crime. So they've had to figure out what could be criminal. Well, then it's if this, then there had to be this and to this. None of that has been shown. The president's been clear. He even said in his statement, if there's satellite officials that were kind of associated with the campaign that were involved in wrongdoing, go bring charges against them. No one's trying to prevent that, but I think you're right that the scope of the special counsel is supposed to be limited. This is not Ken Starr. There is no such thing anymore in our law as an independent prosecutor that has broad authority. That doesn't exist. Congress didn't reauthorize that back in the 1990s. And so these special counsels, they are under the jurisdiction of the Department of Justice. They are supposed to have a very narrowly defined scope. And honestly, with an investigation that's already gone on for 7+ months, they've got a lot of their info already, so it shouldn't take them years to come to conclusions on what they should or should not bring before a grand jury, if anything at all. But I think what we're seeing is more. It's less about whatever charges are ever brought. It's the undermining. It takes the attention away from Congress doing their job on issues that we actually affect all of us, whether that's the Senate on health care or tax reform, and those are going to be, and what if? I mean, there's a lot of swirling news out there about another Supreme Court vacancy potentially this summer. Yeah. I mean, imagine this Congress, and even the Senate, dealing with that, even under their new rules, because they seem so preoccupied on both sides.
They should be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. We're talking to Jordan Sekulow, Executive Director of the American Center for Law and Justice. The Occam's razor explanation for what Trump did, and I know he can be mercurial, and you really don't even know what he's doing some of the time, and he himself doesn't know. He kind of emotes and is his own worst enemy from time to time. But the logical explanation is that the only thing that wasn't being leaked, as Marco Rubio said when Comey was testifying, was that Trump wasn't actually under investigation at that point, and that it needed to be brought out. And as Trump told Lester Holt, it was the Russian investigation that bothered him, and what Comey was doing, and wasn't exonerating Trump, whereas all these leaks were coming out about everything else. And to try to connect this up right now to the Flynn dismissal, when Trump didn't even try to do anything after he talked to Flynn privately, he didn't even try to do anything. They better really find something bad about Flynn that Trump knew about, and that's why he fired Comey, which they don't have and never are going to have.
No, I think that in Flynn's case, he's held to a higher standard than most individuals because of his military service and then his position very temporarily as the NSA National Security Advisor. If he filled out his paperwork wrong, if he was inaccurate there, just the same reason he was let go by the White House was because of not being accurate to the vice president. He could face some ramifications there legally. They're not hugely significant. Let's just all be on the paperwork issues and someone.
No, you know what they're going to get Flynn on? If anything, it'll be lying to the FBI.
Well, yeah,
okay?
He did what Denny Hester did. You don't lie to the FBI.
Yeah, but then it has to be Trump covering that up somehow, which we don't have.
I mean, no, in fact, it's the opposite. He let him go.
Right, when they found out
there was any wrongdoing. I think the bigger issue is that the media is helping to prod along Congress, and I think, in fact, the special counsel. And it's too bad because I think Bob Mueller did come to it as someone who could have done this, could have come to conclusions that there is no there, and actually may have been accepted by people on both sides of the aisle. But now it's got to this point where if you look at the team he's assembling, very partisan. The leaks, the constant leaks from our nation's law enforcement officials, whether that is the FBI or whether it's the people on the special counsel's team, that's unclear as well. But it's certainly one of those two. That undermines an investigation, and at a certain point, an investigation becomes so undermined that you no longer have the either moral authority or the confidence to continue to lead it. And I think that even though this may be scoring temporary political points for those on the left, ultimately they may be undermining any of the longer-term ramifications of this by these surrounding. You know what's been illegal here so far? The leaks about investigations.
Right.
Those are the illegal acts.
Yep. The Democrats are focusing on Russian collusion, and the Republicans are focusing on the leakers. We're going to have to leave it there. Jordan Sekulow, appreciate it. Executive Director of American Center for Law and Justice, and the brother of Jay Sekulow, who we can hear right here on AM 560 between 9 and 10 p.m. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. And it's about to get worse. The IRS just hired an army of new tax enforcers. So, if you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop that army of new enforcers from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $500 million of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Scoundrels are not exclusive to politics. They're smart enough to occupy necessity service industries like the automotive business. As a real estate broker, my car is a lifeline and a total necessity to my business and my family, which is why I had to seek out an honest, truthful auto service provider. For over the past decade, I've put my trust in Craigies Mobile Service Center on Lake Street in Addison. Craigies handles full auto repair on foreign and domestic vehicles. They pride themselves on providing you the best cost-effective auto repair and expert advice. Craigies has full service bays and truck lifts that can service and manage your whole fleet. They also provide priority service for your business and can track each vehicle, alerting you to the repair before you need it, keeping your guys on the road. Since 1959, Craigies Mobile Service Center has thrived through 10 presidential administrations, giving you reputable, dependable, and honest auto repair. Do yourself a favor. Just go into Craigies on Lake Street in Addison. See my guy Vic. He'll set you up. Tell him Sean from Elmwood Park sent you. I approve of this message.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants, and that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
When a local manufacturer suffered an employee accident at their factory, McPherson Public Affairs Group was called in to handle crisis communications with the media, the general public, and the manufacturer's employees. When a local unit of government needed assistance in pushing a significant regional highway issue forward, McPherson Public Affairs Group was called in to manage the public, media, and legislative outreach campaign. When national trade associations and corporations need public outreach and communications campaigns in Illinois and throughout the Midwest, they count on McPherson Public Affairs Group to get the job done. McPherson Public Affairs Group is a full-service public affairs and public relations firm based in LaGrange, Illinois. They'll work with you to create a strategy and see it through. Contact them for a free consultation when you face public relations challenges or need media and spokesperson training for your executive team. 312-882-2473 or on the web at McPhersonPublicAffairs.com.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
You're making a big commitment, and having people like you guys on our side really eased all that tension that we had. I have friends that are in the process of looking at homes and, trying to get their feet wet with, just getting into the real estate market. And I've already, given your guys' name out. Absolutely. You guys are hands down one of the best companies I've ever dealt with. You guys are top-notch excellent.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Sing it, Bruce.
That was a long intro.
We'll sing it anyway.
Now here are Robert Young, Jane Wyatt, Lauren Chapin, Billy Gray, and Eleanor Donahue in Father Knows Best.
Thank you. And with Father's Day coming up, Father does know best. Bruce, I made the mistake of asking you when your father passed away. I mean, am I the worst?
He just called me yesterday, so he's fine. Knock on wood.
Yes, he's fine.
I won't be with Dad this Father's Day. I'll give him a call, but we're making it. We're going to see our son in New York.
Okay.
So,
and how many grandkids do you have from that son?
2.
All right. How old are they?
No, you're testing me here.
Oh, God.
No, 5 and 3.
Oh, they're youngins.
Oh, yeah. I have 6 grandchildren under the age of 6.
Oh, my goodness, you're busy. Do you babysit a lot? Or spend time with them?
I'm the world's worst grandfather. I
Why,
sit there. There are so many pictures of me asleep while the kids are running around. Well, but now that they're getting older, I get to talk to them a little bit.
Good. And it'll only get better as they get older. But they're lucky to have you as a grandpa, and you're a great dad, too. So happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to Mike Scott, who's a wonderful father of 4. I know he spends a lot of time with his children, and we appreciate that and appreciate you. So to all the dads out there, happy Father's Day. Have a safe, happy, and healthy weekend. Bruce, thanks for filling in.
Thank you for having me.
And Dan is back on Monday. Now let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy,